Hey, what's up, you guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Wiley Show. We are live. I want to make an announcement because it was a content creator that played my members only lives on their content. And so we sent two complaints to YouTube, which YouTube were on our side. So they messaged us saying, why would you do this? Because I'm like, you cannot, play my members only content. You can't do it. I worked hard to create content. If you want to reuse my content, there is a price for that. There is only one content creator that reached out to us, and that was Coffee City. She said, hey, can I use a piece of your content for my commentary? I said, you have my full permission. That was it. But so all the other people can do it. You cannot use my creative ideas that I set up on my channel and I go live and I create members only or publicly, because that is a violation. You can only do fair use if you're doing commentary, but you can't play someone 15, 20, 30 minutes of their content. You can't do it. It was an example. I want to say this. It was an example of Auntie Hammy. Y'all remember her? So Auntie Hammy came on our show. She did a video of Ramon Wiggins, and the video had old interviews of his content. Most of it was majority Armand Wiggins content. So it was getting traction. Armand filed a complaint with YouTube, and they removed the video. Because though it was funny, though it was creative, you cannot use somebody else's content and get clicks and views off of without that content creator's permission, without being an email thread of you're getting permission to do this. So you can't do it. So when I saw her did that, I went on my station head. I said, I know what he's going to do. He don't allow it to play it on her YouTube, and the video was taken down. And then soon when he took the video down, Auntie Hammy immediately went for, she was livid. Auntie Hammy was livid. But I understand her anger and her frustration, but she was wrong because she didn't get his permission to use his content. There was a case on Bingo. Tasha K did an interview with the people on Bingo, and she interviewed some people on her app, and some people on Bingo streamed it on her show, and literally streamed it on her show. They streamed it on that Bingo. She filed a complaint. They lost, they had to get off Bingo, because you cannot use someone intellectual property and use it. You can't stream a Tyler Perry play. It will be taken down. You cannot be streaming WWE content. That is someone else's property. You can't do it. So if you want to come in this game and be successful, you got to play by the rules. You cannot say, well, let me get Wiley content and let me drag Wiley using his content. You can drag me all day, but you cannot use 30 plus minutes, 20 minutes plus, 15 minutes plus of my content. Can't do it. It is wrong. It is not right because I work very hard for my content. Because you wouldn't want somebody playing your content on your channel. Say, for instance, you have a members only live, and I take the content and I'm getting more clicks and views than your members only live. Can't do it. And so you just can't, because you set yourself up for failure. And I've seen people use other people's content, and they waited until they had like 6 videos, and they did like 6 of them, and they was able to get when able to even to go live or any uploads, because those are the rules. You can't do it. And I'm breaking this down because you can't do it. You can't. If that was possible, then everybody and their mama will play everybody's content. They will play the entire video. They will play all of it. You know what I'm saying? You can't do that. And so I'm just giving people that are coming in this business to know that I won't try that if I were you, because they're going to file it and they're going to say, this is my content. I control it. I didn't give them permission. I don't want to share revenue. I don't give them permission, give this person permission at all. And these are the things. And so I didn't like to do it to this particular person, but I felt it was a slap in the face that you used my members only content. Can't use it, because when I do the members only, it is unfair to the 50 members that are paying their $4.99 faithfully a month, and those 65 or 60, 70 members on Patreon paying their $4.99 every month. I feel like that's unfair, because why should they pay it and they could just watch it, you streaming everything? So we don't allow it. So I'm just breaking that YouTube, being the etiquettes, about the game, and give you ropes about the game, because you can't do it. And I'm telling the truth here. Like, one of my good friends here, Jess Zoe, is a content creator. And if Jess Zoe do an interview, I'm like, okay, I want to stream his entire interview. Can't do that. And wake up and the video get 100,000 views. Jess Zoe is going to be highly pissed that not only did you took my interview, didn't give me permission, didn't pay me for one, and I'm monetizing off of your video, he will feel some type of way. So you can't do that, because Jess Zoe, his argument would be, this is my content. I work hard for my content. I post the content every day. This is something that I post. I work very hard. It's not right. Monique did a show. We had to lock our phones away. Okay? We couldn't even post like our phones. You can't do it. So I can't be like, well, I'm posting Monique's show. Not only would I would get sued, but they will remove the content, and I will be open to a lawsuit, because that you're breaking the law. You can't play someone's content without that party's permission. You cannot do it. I work very hard for my content. I don't care how controversial I am. You can drag me all day, but you can't be like, well, I'm going to stream Wiley's content. Yep, I totally understand that. I remember that happened to me back in the day. Someone used my content without my knowledge, and told me after the fact, you didn't write, I sure would be tight at you. I would have my lawyer on it ASAP. You would. You can't do that. I can't post, okay, let me post my Netflix show and I'm going to stream Chris Rock special. It's going to immediately get erased. I remember we tried to stream Bel Air for my members. Baby, within 3 minutes, it was taken down. And YouTube was like, this is a warning. You can't do it. So we completely stopped that. Like movie night, watching Bel Air, I did that maybe like 2 years ago. Not on this channel, but on my backup channel. And YouTube was like, okay, this is a warning because you can't do it. So I'm just giving people that's something for free, because when you do that, you're going, they're not gonna like it. You know what I'm saying? They're not gonna like it because it's much easier for you to get subscribers and clout when you are using somebody else's intellectual property, right? If I were to start using Just So content or Mind Wiggins content, of course I would get a lot of views. I'm using his content. That's not right. And that's unfair to Armand or to anybody out there that I'm eating off of his content and not giving him a dime. There was a situation back in the day where Armand got pissed because he used Kaya content. She took it down and Armand challenged it, and Kaya was going to go to court. It was very bad. And then Armand just removed it because you can't use other people's content. And I remember he was so in his feelings about the Kaya situation. And then somebody did the exact thing to him, and he went and he filed a copyright complaint. So you can't use like other people's content. Now, if it's your content, it's yours, right? You own the content. You operate the content. Like when I did a restream with me and Armand, that was on my show. That was my content. Those are my videos that I own. So I can restream that all day. That is my content. You know what I'm saying? And Just So said something very important here. He said, "Yup, they sure would shut it down ASAP. All of my old content got flagged for using music I didn't have permission to use." Absolutely. You can't, because the artist will be, what that is, they probably want to give you a strike, but all of that revenue for those videos will go to that owner, or YouTube will have where you will share the revenue with the owner of the music. You can't, you know what I'm saying? You can't use it because it's somebody else's music. So, and this is coming from a person that have been on YouTube for years. This is coming from Just So that been on YouTube for years. And I have Just So here. Let me, if I can drop a link for Just So. I don't know if you want to come on camera. You don't have to show yourself on camera. Let me drop him the link because, and this is another piece, and I have Just So here. I think a lot of people look at when you come into the game, oh, you've been on it for 10 years, you should be further. Okay, I'll give you that. But everybody learned differently. Just So been on this platform for years. Just So been in here for a long time. So it's not right, oh, you've been on here for a long time, you should be quote unquote further. So when you do these YouTube things, I tell people, don't listen to the noise. Continue to be consistent in your commentary, because you could be in here 5 years, 10 years, and you can have your break tomorrow. So continue to be consistent. So Just So said something really quickly. He said, oh, no. I lost my partnership for using music I didn't have permission to use. You see what I'm saying? Then he would have to jump through hoops and file paperwork to get his partnership back. So, you have to do it. And so that is the type of things. And I think that what people fail to realize, when you are operating in these YouTube spaces, we operate with fairness, because anybody will tell you, CTV, anybody, they don't play when you're using their content. Go and start using their content. I guarantee you, if you don't get their permission, they're not going to fool with you. They're going to be like, oh, he used my content, because that's their content. You know what I'm saying? So that is like, that's their content. That is their intellectual property. You can't do it. I cannot today say, let me play Tasha K content. I talk about Tasha K daily, but I don't use her content. I don't play her content. I can review her content till I'm blue in the face, and which we have done that. But never have I said, let me take her Tasha K live content and let me stream it on my show. And then I can't be shocked when she found, oh my God, Tasha, why did you blah, 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 blah? Why did you do? Like, no, sis. Like you can't be shocked about that. You can't be shocked. I think we got Jezzo backstage. Jezzo, bro.
Hey, what's going on, brother?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, I want to make sure we put you on there so they can see you live.
Yeah.
On the show, because you coming from experience that been in this game for over 10 years. Would that be accurate? And so
like 15, 16, maybe 20.
Maybe 20 years been doing it, right?
Right.
And you get new people. Oh, just so you should have 1 million followers. You know,
right.
Maybe you say I had this life, I don't want to do anymore. Is you have your reasons. But I can't be using your old content. Just an example, using old interviews, and I stream it on my channel, and I'm getting all this clout. You would feel some type of way. I ain't getting. I'm getting all these super chats. I mean, they just giving me all, and it's your content.
Correct. Yes, I definitely would. I would be pissed off.
You would be like, bro, what you doing? Like,
what?
Break me off a piece.
Yeah, I would for sure. I mean, it like I said in the comments and the chats, it happened to me many years ago. When I first started doing YouTube, I was doing YouTube, and things was like popping. You know, back then, you know, I was the only. I'm not gonna say I was the only one. I was one of the first ones that was out here like interviewing entertainers and celebs and different people, whatever. And this lady had a radio network that she had built from her house. And that was the first time I've ever heard of anybody like building a radio network from their house. And she built the radio network, and she had cameras set up in her room, and like whoever was on her radio network, they would broadcast live on audio and video. And one day, she hit me up on Facebook, and she was like, "Hey, I love your show. Your show is popping. This was up. I see you got all the celebs and da 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 da." So I'm like, "Yeah, okay, cool. You know, but blase blase, thank you. You know." So she was like, I aired one of your shows already, and I'm getting a lot of views, a lot of streams off of it. Da, 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 da. And I'm like, what? And she's like, yeah. She's like, I want to have you on the show. And I'm like, wait, hold up. You never asked me if you can even use my content. You never asked me if you can air my show on your radio platform. You never did that. And she was like, no, I just wanted to test it out. I said, but still, you still never asked me. So at the time, I didn't know too much about the entertainment business side of things. I was more educated more on the creative side. I didn't know much about the business side of stuff. You know what I mean? That's one of the reasons why I took a step back from doing YouTube and entertainment, because I wanted to learn more about the business side of things. So she wound up talking me into signing a contract to be on her radio network. Because, you know, at the time, like, okay, you know, now I'm on YouTube, and then now I'm on this lady network, whatever. And I was mad at first, but then I was like, you know what? Maybe that's more exposure. Maybe I can get, you know, more people following me. So I wound up signing like the contract, and it was like literally like 20 pages full of stuff, like stuff that I had to read and sign. And once again, I wasn't savvy on the business side of things. So I'm basically signing my life away to this lady that I didn't even know. So I wound up doing like maybe 3 shows, and after that I just like stopped doing it. And thank God.
Yeah, like you really have to understand like the businesses and the business.
Yes.
A lot of us, like when we first started, we didn't know all this knowledge. Now we know.
Correct.
You know, now we understand that intellectual property to protect it, because
Correct.
you know what I'm saying. We work, like you worked very hard, and you work very hard on your content and
Mm-hmm.
my show and I'm getting all this clout, you will be in your feelings. So I
Okay.
can't be shocked if you filed the right paperwork to get it removed because you have every legal right to do so.
Do so. Correct.
It's your content. Like that's
Right.
like let's break it down so people understand. If I'm up here like I'm playing Netflix, Chris Rock, that ain't gonna happen. Because soon as
Mm-hmm.
I streaming and start playing it, the forward thing is gonna be taken down immediately. Because
Correct.
Netflix got the system that it detects their content and it
Mm-hmm.
immediately take it down. The same thing with Zeus. They
Yep.
have it where they pay, they have people on their staff that immediately remove the content. Uh,
Right.
all that, and sometimes they get it, sometimes they don't, because you know that they're human beings like everybody else.
Correct.
I just don't want to take that risk using somebody else's content, and I'm getting all these subscribers and then my channel gone because I
Right.
all of the videos with somebody else's content.
Let me
Like,
tell you,
you know,
even not to cut you off, but even like I've interviewed a couple of entertainers, right? And I have used like their music video, whatever, for reference videos and stuff like that. I had to get copyright permission from their label or the owner of the video or the music. Even though they was featured on my show, I still had to get copyright permission from their people. And a lot of times the artists themselves don't even have permission
I'm
to,
saying, yeah,
to give the permission out to even use their content. Their content is owned by the record label, by the producer, by an investment company that's putting money into their career. So I had to like go through all kind of hoops and loops to get permission to use some of the people like Drew Hill, for instance. I had to get permission from from Nokia and Drew Hill's manager to use any type of content on my show as a reference video to do the interview with Drew Hill.
yeah, like you because you're a break, and I'm so glad because I remember someone you know Kaya, my neck and my
Yes, yes,
people thought Kaya owned the rights to my neck and my back.
no,
Is wrong. She don't own the rights to that song. That's a very iconic song.
hmm
She don't own the rights to it.
she was with Def Jam, correct?
I don't know what label, but it's another company that owned the rights to that record.
So that means that company probably brought the rights from her original record label.
Yes.
Because a lot of times that happens in entertainment where like the artists don't own the music, nor do the record label the artist was on. So especially an old artist, what they do is another company, like an equity firm, buys a catalog, and then they own the rights to that music.
I agree.
Yeah.
And that's why when we see all of this type of stuff, and I was breaking it down with the thing about understanding that, because you definitely have to get permission. You can't do it, and that's why television shows, they have to make sure everything is clear before they play a record. You can't use Tupac or DMX song on the Ellen show without the permission of or get it cleared, because you will be sued.
Right.
You can't do it. And that goes the same thing for YouTube. And that's why some songs you can play on there, they immediately take it down and they'll put on there, this was copyright by such and such, and it will post like the label
Mm-hmm.
on there. Because I remember I was going live in the club and it was playing all that music. YouTube took it down and they said
Yep.
it's removed because this is copyrighted. Same thing with IG. IG took it down because they said this is copyright. So anytime that Versus does Versus, they have to clear every song
Everything. Yep.
that they play. They have to clear it through the label and get clearance before they can air it on Instagram, because
Mm-hmm.
he'd be liable and they would have, you know what I mean? So
Right. Exactly.
like a process, and it's a lengthy process to go through. And like me and you, we don't have, I don't think I can speak for me,
Mm-hmm.
who to call to get permission to Beyonce record. You know what I mean?
No. I don't. Well, definitely not Beyonce. I don't even know who to contact, because like now in this day and age, like now in 2023, they keep all that stuff private now. You know what I mean? Like you have to know somebody to know somebody to know somebody to know somebody to even get in contact with the publicist or with the manager. You know what I mean? Back in the days, you was able to look on the back of a record cover album or a CD out, and see Sony Records information on there and was able to call up there. I mean, I've been to many record labels just by just looking on the back of the record label and just going up there and just, like what? You know what I mean? Like, because all the record labels is based here in New York. So it was nothing for me to just go down to Broadway and something street and just walk into Universal and like what? You know what I mean? But now it's hard. It's hard to find these people.
It's really hard. Like, that's what I'm saying. And so that's why you have to understand it's people that understand that way. And of course, some of us don't have, I don't know, really have the resources, to get in contact with Beyonce publicists, and
right.
Number is not so public where you could just dial them. You know what I'm saying? You got to know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're having this conversation to teach younger or teach new talent out here, so you don't have to go through those holes like that. Like, if you're trying to start a career, you want to start it on the right road. You don't want to start like playing people content, because these creators going to, like for myself, if I'm saying my content being played, I get it removed because I work hard. I don't care if that video got 60 views. Those are 60 views taken away from me that you're using my content that I create. Now, if you say, for instance, you want to get some clicks and views off of me, and do critique it, respond to it. Because you remember back in the day, YouTube had it where you could respond to videos, and then if the creator would approve it, at the bottom of the video, it would be a response video.
Correct.
Remember YouTube used to do that?
Yes.
And they used to do the response video. And so now you go live, put a title, and this is your rebuttal to what I said, if you want to go that route. But you can't come in here and your whole argument, majority of it is based on what I'm saying in my video. It's my video. Correct.
That
can be my ish.
Right. Another thing, because it's funny that we're having this conversation. I came in on this conversation because I was talking to a young man who was reporting on the Jaguar Wright situation. And, I was basically telling him, like, there's a fine line when you are a blogger. You're like, blogger today is different from blogger than what we used to do back in the days. You know what I mean? And now there's a fine line that bloggers walk today. You know what I mean? You're more now a journalist than just a freestyling blogger. You know what I mean? From like how we was back in the days. So there's certain rules that now bloggers who takes the business of being a blogger serious, there's rules that you have to follow. There's etiquette that you have to follow now. Like back when me and you started, Wiley, we was just able to just get up on YouTube and it's like, what? Like, and just
it was ruthless back in the day.
Right. We was able to say anything, do anything, whatever. Like, I'm learning now, you can't even curse on YouTube no more. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, like they just now approved of you could say damn. I think they approved that as being a correct word. Like you can't, certain words, like if someone passed away, you can't say that they was K word. You have to say they were deleted. So you have to use these other type terms. And that comes with the more it become a corporate conglomerate or entity, and it becomes stakeholders and it's the decorum, the rules start to change. And that's why I tell a lot of content creators that I respect Tasha when she developed her own app outside of the YouTube model where you make your own rules. That's why I respect Mr. Jones, Alex Jones, Info World, is it War? He decided to create his own. He had his own site. It removed him on Google. Okay, the judge allowed them to do that because a private company have a right to remove, and they want to remove on their part. They removed them Google, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Boom.
Okay.
So they tried to remove his website, and so he challenged that in court, and the judge agreed with Mr. Jones because he said this is his site. It's a violation of his First Amendment rights.
Correct.
Pretty much what they said is if we remove his site because you don't agree with his speech, then what will stop y'all to removing CNN on NBC or Fox News or whatever, because we have a certain thing in this country that is called free speech. So if you have your own company, you cannot take that away. That's a violation of that person, you know what I'm saying, constitutional rights.
Mm-hmm.
It's a such thing. Like, we have the beauty of this country, free speech. But what I've learned being on YouTube, that it's a certain type of speech that they approve to monetize.
Right.
Certain type of free, like, you can't be on this channel and get that claim for free speech because you're working with a private company. You have to have your own entity, your own,
Correct.
you know what I'm saying? And so that's what I've like really understanding that, because I've learned is we are an employee. They call us YouTube partnership, but truly it is not a true partnership.
No.
If they remove your content, you don't even get access to your content.
Yep.
It's just gone.
It's just gone. It's just gone.
If you didn't download it or put it on a hard drive or something,
Mm-hmm.
it's literally gone.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not technically a quote unquote partnership. It is an employer. Google is the employer. We are an employee now. We are a 1099, but technically,
Right, I was about to say, like, we pay taxes, so yeah,
still an employee to a corporation.
correct.
You know what I'm saying? So it sounds good. Oh my God, I'm a YouTube partner, but they create the rules of the YouTube
Right.
partnership that you sign, and in that document, they can remove you for any reason that they choose.
Correct.
You can challenge it all day, but how many of us remember young Pharaoh have the money to challenge YouTube in court? Young Pharaoh tried and he flopped and failed.
Yep.
And he went nowhere. And that brother was getting hundreds and this brother was getting so many views, right? And
Mm-hmm.
that was during the time the Rona, and they was coming at content creators hard. That was being anti, you know what I'm saying, about the thing, right?
Right.
So he was really going in, and he was getting all these clicks and views, and he was talking about the government agencies, and YouTube took his channel down, deleted his entire channel, and then he said, "I'm gonna file a lawsuit." It didn't go anywhere because he started allegedly he started to use the money that the content creators were giving him. He started to use it in his personal life, buying chains, buying this and that.
Mm-hmm.
Now you don't even hear from him anymore. And he kind of like went whoo in the head, just went totally down.
Mm.
I learned from that situation that if you want to be the young Pharaoh or the InfoWars, Alex, you have to create and own your own outlet.
Right.
That's simple.
Right. But even still, when you do create your own thing, once again, there is still certain etiquettes that you must follow, because as I was saying earlier, this day and age, bloggers are now in the space of being a journalist.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? And so some of the rules that journalists have to follow, bloggers are now held up to those same type of rules now.
We are held to the same type of standard.
Rules, especially since that Cardi B thing with Tasha.
Yeah, that's true, and that's why later on today, we have the court documents here. We got where's I'm at with this that we have the 2,311 pages of the appeal that Tasha K have in an appellate court. So you know what I'm saying.
She's appealing. This is recent. She's recently appealing that. Recently now.
She filed that last year, and so they have to have time to make their decision because this was filed back in August 29, 2022, and of course it takes time to get a decision because the court have to, they have to look
right.
They have to go through all that, and this is 2,311 pages. So the judge have to skip through their entire, I guess, a panel of judges. I'm assuming.
I don't think that she's going to win.
Of course, she's not going to win.
Yeah, she's not going to win. She's not going to win.
It's a, what do they call it? It's like a stalling tactic. Like,
Yeah,
let me do videos. Let me stack up my bread. Let's hold the inedible and all that. It's going to hurt her in the long term because it was $3 million, but now it's going to be more money because Cardi B had to pay more fees.
Yeah.
To in this appeal, so it's going to still hurt her in the long run. Now we see, and this is the sad part about it, and we'll get to Jaguar Wright.
Mm-hmm.
She making all of this money trying to build her platform, Kibi Studios LLC, but you have already came into the business with almost close to a $5 million debt, and you are a Black-owned business. How many Black-owned businesses got $5 million liquid cash
Right.
that we could just throw away?
Right, exactly.
Get slapped with that, we out of business because we don't have reserves or investors where we can just play with people money.
Correct. Exactly. And not only did she come in with a $5 million debt, but she came in with a bad reputation.
Absolutely.
As well.
Yeah, a bad reputation that hurt us content creators, because there was a time where you were able to get celebrities to come on your platform.
Mm-hmm.
Have shifted now that it is only the gatekeepers have a approved list of folks that people go. Typically, you see them on Jason, you see Drink Champs, you see it on Breakfast Club. But let's break it down to bloggers. The only blogger that I see that are getting these people is like Jason Lee. And then it's another YouTube called Terrell. He's getting the singers like the the Clark sisters, Coco Brown, Coco Jones. You don't see those artists rushing to go to Tasha.
Mm-hmm.
They have sometimes more subscribers and clout because she kind of blackballed herself and also hurt the industry of content creators, period.
But you know what? I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna tell you the truth. Because you know that I spent time with Wendy Williams, and so I got to learn a lot. Spend a lot of time with Wendy Williams behind the scenes and with her people, her staff, and whatnot. And like the way Jason Lee is doing it the right way. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because and shout out to all of the up and coming like bloggers and stuff that's listening right now. While the public and the fans is very much important, you know what I mean? But when you go into the arena of wanting to be around these entertainers and these celebs, those are the people that's going to push a career further. You can have 15 million fans, but if you don't have the respect of these publicists and these managers and these assistants and these people behind the scenes, you ain't going nowhere. You're not going to go nowhere. And that's the reason why Jason Lee is getting a lot of these celebs, is because he's friendly with a lot of them. He's cool with a lot of them. So they feel comfortable coming to him. And all it takes is just one big name. That's all it takes. One big name.
All it takes.
Right. One big name to support you. And then that's it. You off, because it's like a domino effect. It's like if Wiley meets Janet Jackson, for instance. And Janet and an interview was great. The interview was good. And then Janet Jackson team starts talking highly about Wiley. Wiley gonna have a whole door full of entertainers wanting to come onto his show because you just had Janet Jackson on your show.
Yes, I call it. Yes, it's a domino effect.
Yeah,
because if, like, say for Janet come on the show and it's like interview and she share, and especially if she shares something, it's so good. Page 6 doing rewrites, it's so iconic that pushes Wiley to the other atmosphere.
Right.
And I've been doing it for 10 years, but to the mainstream, they just know me today.
Right, exactly.
So that's why I necessarily don't get discouraged when I say I've been in here for 10, 12, I've been in here for over 10 years. I would have to say back in 2010, and we in 2022. So that's how I've been trying to do this. And that's why I don't get discouraged. People say, "Oh, Wiley, you've been doing it for 10 years." I can have a Janet Jackson, thank you, Prophet, to come on the show.
Oh, she's coming.
and do that and take my career to the next level. And I will be the new thing smoking in town. So that just goes, it can go with Danny Boy Stewart. He could come on the show and share something. He's not really like an A-list celebrity, but he can share some things in there. Not gonna get into the questions. I can use another example here of a book that I'm reading. I just have the book that I'm reading. DJ Envy and his wife come on the show and they share something and it just go viral. You see other people will be willing to be comfortable.
Right.
Especially if you treat DJ Envy right, because you know who DJ Envy is.
Right.
Show personality.
He's an A-lister.
He's A-list. You know what I'm saying? He'd be like, Wiley did a great job. And if he give me a shout out on the Breakfast Club, oh, it was a great interview, or they put me in a rumor report, that takes Wiley to the next level. Because I remember when Jason Lee said something, though he is cool with these celebrities, I give you that. You're right. And, Wiley's going to take Wiley 15 years to get on my level. I don't believe that, because all it takes is one.
But see, here's the thing. I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not a huge fan of Jason Lee, but I don't know him like that, so I'm not gonna disrespect him. You know what I mean? I'm a fair person. I may not like somebody, or I may not like what somebody's doing, but I won't sit here and say that I don't like them as a person because I don't know them. So I'm not a big fan of what he does. What I would say is that Jason Lee, the formula that he's using to expand his brand is the right formula. He's also, how can I say it? He's also stepping on his own foot, if that makes any sense, because of the way he, like the way he acts. You know what I mean? Like what you just said. He's bigger than everybody else, and nobody else matters to him. You know what I mean? Nobody lives up to him. You know what I mean? Wiley's it's gonna take you 15 years to get to my level. You've been doing this for so long, or whatever. That's not the right way to be, towards people. You know what I mean? If you know somebody that's doing the same thing as you're doing, and they're not where you at, then inspire them to get to your level. You know what I mean? Help them out, maybe promote their show or something. You know what I mean? But don't put them down. And so little things like that makes him look ugly in the public eye.
Yeah, and so when he said that, bruh, I recorded it and I posted it on my IG. And my barber, who is not a YouTube average viewer, he said, bruh, Jason Lee shouted at you. I saw it on your IG. Like, he said my name directly. And so I took that as an honor. I took that damn, it didn't take me 15 years to be in your mind. I'm there now. And, and I played my cards right. Didn't really disrespect them. I continue to do my content because I get a name. You can say my name to certain circles. They be like, oh, Wiley, best, because we've been doing it so long. In certain circles, you can say Wiley name and somebody go, oh, I know Wiley. Oh, I don't like him. Blah, 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 because I've been doing it and I'm more open. And now we have this live model now that everybody got an opinion. We're not at that level like a Jason Lee when it's speaking it of. He get a whole nother level of, because he have a whole Hollywood Unlocked engine.
Listen, I may have 600 followers, but I'm bigger than Jason Lee. Okay, how you doing? Okay.
Right. And don't get discouraged about Jason Lee.
Exactly. Don't
read his book, because there's not too many people that had a Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather invested in Hollywood Unlocked, and he never shared how he was able to get that investment. So never shared it. He never broke it down. I read the man book from cover to cover. I had people to take his course. He never shared how he was able to get that $1 million.
No, but Wiley, you about to make me go in my old Jezzo bag and be shady.
So
I know how he got that bag.
I know how you got it. How you doing?
Okay.
So we had get that. but you know what I'm saying? But he never shared it to the public. He's painting that I got it by my own bootstraps, but you also had a massive cosign by Floyd Mayweather and an investment in him shouting out. If Wiley get that today, why I'll be on the same shoe. If Floyd Mayweather would come on the show and give me a cosign and an investment, I'm now been pushed in the algorithm. Because now I have the money and I have the resources to get more people to really work with me and honor me. And then more people will want to be around me because now I have Floyd Mayweather in my circle.
Correct.
That's how so that Hollywood works like that. And I've been around enough. I've never been in the circle. I've just been around. And I've noticed that people love to be around people that Drake is around. You get Punani, Ping, you know, just being associated. If just say, for instance, Drake come on the show, oh, what up, Wiley? Shout out to you, Wiley Show. I love you, bro. I love the Wiley Show. He give me a shout on Instagram. Instantly, I go to the next level the next day.
Correct.
This Wiley, I would get DMs from music. I would get women coming at me, men coming at me, you know what I'm saying?
But you know what? That's different than Floyd Mayweather backing up a Brinks truck and dumping a whole lot of cash, into your brand. Okay, let's be clear. You don't get something for nothing. You get something for something. Hello.
Yes, you get something for something. So I don't know too many people, and you've been in this business, and you can tell me this. I can get somebody on with money. They don't just give you something for nothing. I don't see too many people that does that. I don't know if they do it. That's great. And so, you know, I'm glad we were able to have these conversations. And these people, Jezzo, like we've been cool. You've been seeing me when I was smaller. Now I'm a big guy. And
back in Chicago. Yeah.
Back in Chicago to me now. And there's no telling where I'm going to be next in my career. I'm just honored that you still see me out here working.
You know what? Let me say this. I'm gonna say because every time I get on your platform, I'm always bigging you up, and I know people probably be like, "Oh, Zoe is just kissing Wiley ass." No, but I'm really proud of your growth, and I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna be a little shady because there have been other bloggers that was out around the time that you and I first started. You know what I mean? And I must say that I recently took a look at their channels, some of these bloggers, and they are still sitting in the same seat that they were sitting in 10 years ago and doing the same thing that they were doing 10 years ago. You get what I'm saying? So to me, that just shows no growth. When I look at you, I see growth. Your platform has grown bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and I see growth. And that's a difference between you and a lot of these other bloggers out here that that was out there back when we was doing it, and ones that came after you. You have growth, you have longevity, and you have growth. So don't be discouraged. Yeah, you've been in the game for 10 years. Yeah, you were a senior citizen. So fucking, excuse me, I can't even curse. I'm sorry, YouTube. So what?
Yeah, so I'm glad you.
But you have growth
because I always told people, you remember the Scorpion show? They was hot at one moment. You remember that? How hot they was, and now they're no longer hot like they was. So. And they've been in this business longer than me. I was at one point a fan of the Scorpion show because back in the day, you have to wait till they pre-record it and see it live. There was no live. There was no live chat.
Right.
It was they record the video, which would be about 2 hours, and they release it. And you would sit there for those 2 hours and watch the content. And now they rarely post on YouTube. Kevin was a full YouTuber at one point,
right?
Back to his regular job.
I think it was just life. Life hit him, and he had to grow up and focus on life.
Life hit him, and I always use it as an example to paint a picture when people say, "Oh, well, they've been here for a long time too, and they're still on YouTube."
But also too, I think going back to what I was saying earlier, I think is that like me, they wasn't educated in as far as the business aspect
That's true.
of
They got, they
the
got,
entertainment business, right?
they got
Because most of us that came up together on YouTube, we kind of did this as a hobby that grew into something bigger than what bigger than what it is, than what it was then. So we wasn't thinking about like, oh, I'm gonna use YouTube as an engine to make me a star. You know what I mean? We was just doing this as a hobby. It was something we like celebrity culture. We wanted to get on here and talk or whatever. We didn't think in a million years we had to worry about copywriting and signing release forms and all this kind of stuff. And I think that's pretty much what happened with them, is that they wasn't educated on the business aspect of being a personality. Because I feel like me, you, Scorpion, and a few others are more now personalities than bloggers. We're personalities now. So we step in a whole different realm of the whole being on camera and radio and stuff like that. And I think that's just what it was, because at one point, like you said, they was the it. They had Beyonce and Brandy and some of the who's who of Hollywood, Tamar and all of that stuff, on their show. Like these people was flying them out.
Yes.
To different to do different interviews and things of that nature. So at one point they had it made. Like I thought that they was gonna be like the new ish of blogging or whatever
into the mainstream television,
right?
And that's why I've learned from the Scorpion Show. Now I didn't laugh at them; they didn't have the tools at their disposal.
They didn't have the tools. And I think they didn't have the right people
around them. Yeah, right people.
They didn't have the right people around them to navigate them
absolutely
in the right direction. Because I mean, not for nothing, those guys could have been on like E Network or BET or something of that nature. Like they could have been huge. I have respect for them. I'm not gonna even lie,
because they the OGs of this.
Yeah, they are. I have a lot of respect for them.
They have much respect. But like anything, when you learn from that, study their moves and learn from their things and be like, okay, get the right people. So I thank God for that. I'm getting the right people around me too. So when that opportunity presents himself, that I will know how to strategically take advantage of that. Because some of us get opportunities that we don't know how to capitalize off of. We get it and it destroys their career. So we have to understand when that opportunity presents, so you want to make sure you get the right people around you, the right knowledge, that you will know how to strategically handle that opportunity that come across your desk. Because I remember that they had the Tamar Braxton, and this one Tamar was hot.
Yep. On that TV show, that failed TV show.
The Braxton Family Values, she had Tamar and Vince, like they had the backing of that.
That talk show.
Yeah, the talk show. They had, The Real. They had all of the interview. They had, the lady, know them personally from The Chi. I feel like they didn't capitalize off of that. They actually know them of The Chi. Yeah. They know her personally. She's a fan of the show. They should have interviewed.
Brandy was a fan of the show.
Brandy, and you know what's so sad? I was brought about Brandy. Brandy did an interview and she was dragging Monica and all of those people. And she told the Scorpion Show not to put the interview out, and they've been sitting on that it's going on almost 10 years.
Wow.
When she did Chicago, you remember that's way back in the day when she did Chicago.
Yes.
When she did Roxy Hart, Kevin and McHale went there when she was in New York, did an interview, and she was dragging people. And I guess she must have talked to her team and told the Scorpion Show and said, well, we friends, don't put it out. I'm going to do y'all on there. And they sent on a gold mine.
But you know what? I'm picking back on what you were saying. That's what I was saying earlier. Like, you have to when you get into the space of interviewing or being around these entertainers, you have to decipher between friendship conversation and on the record conversation. You know what I mean? And I think that was another thing that really messed them up too, is that they didn't decipher between friendship conversation and then on the record conversation. Show conversation, because not every conversation is worthy to be on the show. You know what I mean?
And then when I've also learned too, you have to be careful having celebrity want to become your
Your
friends,
friend.
and that messes up your business.
That's the argument that I was having with the guy who was talking about Jaguar White, right? Because I know you're gonna go into this in a minute,
Yeah, go
but
ahead. Yeah.
but he's the guy that had posted the audio of Jaguar Wright calling him and whatever, and he's talking or whatever about Jaguar Wright. So I said to him, I'm like, well, are you her friend or are you a blogger who's getting information and you're talking about it? Because I feel like there's a thin line that you have to cross. If you're going to be a friend with a celeb, right, then there's just certain ways or like you have to be careful of how you talk about that celeb that's now your friend, because this is your friend now.
Right. And I don't understand that. I grate you with the consequence, but that they're not friends, because if that truly was your friend, Jaguar Wright is dealing with a mental health crisis.
Right.
We see it. So if that was your true friend, instead of you going live leaking conversations when she's clearly not in her right mind,
Right.
when you have her in Texas under an emergency commitment, that they have her on the emergency detention, when a judge can order a peace officer to take you to an inpatient mental health facility based on an application filed by an adult, or a peace officer can detain you and take you to an inpatient mental health facility without a court order or a warrant. That decision to detain you at an emergency basis must be based on either the person's observation or another person's reliable observation of your recent behavior that makes them believe that A, you are mentally ill and you pose a substantial immediate risk of serious harm to yourself or others if you are not immediately detained. So that's how they was able to detain her.
Right.
Clearly, you're leaking stuff and all that. You're not her best friend.
Correct.
Anytime that she is not in there because she went in there on her own, that is a peace officer. It's a document that they file, that they have the legal right, that they give them powers to put you in hospital. They did the same thing to me. So I couldn't leave. I tried to leave. They said, Mr. Wiley, they showed me the documents that are a danger to others. You are a danger to yourself. And I couldn't leave the hospital. And so the thing that what Jaguar now did, she tried to go to the judge and the judge denied it. Now they do give you a quote unquote hearing when you get in front of a judge. Those hearing is BS. It's not in your favor, because they always have to hear if the doctor say that you are still not clear to be out in society, you will continue to be behind closed doors. And that's why she's still in the hospital today.
Right.
And what messed her up is that she kept doing them live calls. That's all that's working against you.
Right, exactly.
If you were truly a friend, why would you get somebody on a call?
Right, exactly.
Her chances of getting her out, because she's clearly not sane.
Right, exactly. And that was my whole point to the young man. I was like, why if this is your friend, why would you put your friend out there like that? You know what I'm saying? Even if she called you and was like, yeah, release it, talk about it, da 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 da. You now have to make the decision, make an executive decision to say, you know what, I honor my friendship more than this this story. You know what I mean? Because I know that you're not in the right mind. So I'm gonna not do this story. Wait until you get your rest. Wait until you get into your right mind, and then when you're ready, we could do a whole full interview. Not just start leaking conversation that you've had with her while she's clearly you could hear she's under the influence of medication.
Absolutely. And this is one I want to break down. After the peace officer detains you, you must be immediately taken to the nearest appropriate mental health facility for an evaluation. This evaluation will determine whether you can be held longer or whether you must be released. Some facilities may want the peace officer first take you to the emergency room for medical clearance. I went to the emergency room, got clear, and I was so out of my mind. They drugged me. When I woke up, Jezzo, I
Mm-hmm.
was cuffed to the bed. I was in the mental institution. I went from the emergency room to the mental house, and they would take you there to emerge for a clearance. However, unless you request or unless you request or require medical attention, you should be taken straight to the mental health facility. You do not have to consent to a medical clearance evaluation. You must be placed in the nearest appropriate inpatient mental health facility, or in some cases, you may be placed in an alternative approved facility. After you are detained, you can only be placed in a jail or a non-medical facility in an emergency. If you are placed in a jail or other detention facility, you must be kept separate from people who have been charged with a crime. After you have been taken to an inpatient facility, you have the following rights after you have been taken to an inpatient mental health facility following emergency detention. You must be examined by a doctor as soon as possible within 12 hours of arriving at the facility. They did that to me. You may have to be detained for more than 48 hours after you arrive at the facility unless a judge signs a order of protection in custody. If the 48-hour period ends on a weekend or holiday, you may be detained until 4 p.m. on the next business day. If the 48 hours period ends at a different time, you may only be detained until 4 p.m. that day. You can only be admitted to the facility if the doctor who examined you determines that you are mentally ill, you pose a natural and immediate risk of serious harm to yourself or others, and emergency detention is the least restrictive way to restrain you from harm. And so that's why I was saying in that way I couldn't leave at all. I tried my best. I couldn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
It was so bad for me that I was so out of my mind that I was separated from the regular mental, because there's levels in the mental health hospital,
Yeah, no.
in a room by myself, because I was just so high risk to myself and also to others. And so when I saw this, I knew what messed up Jag is that she kept bothering the police. And they knew, okay,
Mm-hmm.
this lady, woohoo, ain't
Crazy. Right,
so
right.
filed the paperwork. And they saw all them videos. They had the legal right, the course of action, and they put her in. And you see that she wasn't able to get out the hospital that quick
Right.
because
And did her husband file like a police report or something like that? The family and stuff like that?
I think the husband did something too, probably.
Yeah.
And so it worked and it helped. And then now she in there. And then all of these so-called friends that would use it for content, they helped her to put her in there as well, because they were able to use all of those videos and all of those uh videos that she was doing. And it was just so sad that it's just so sad. And clearly when I was looking at her and I was observing her, I said, wow, she's such let's not be clear, she's a vocalist, she's talented, but she ain't right upstairs. Like the manic, the depression, the voices. And when she did the ashes, I don't know if you remember seeing this, when she
No.
smeared her son ashes on her face, that's when I
She
knew.
did what?
Yes, it's a video out there. She recorded on her Instagram. She took her son ashes and spread it around her body.
Oh my God.
So that's when I knew. I'm saying, y'all getting these clicks and views off this woman, but clearly she is not well.
But you know what? You know what?
And you already see her going to the police. Remember, she went to the police station, cussing the
Yes.
police station out, saying this, that she gonna get somebody to do something to the police. Like she was just going belligerent. And thank God. And the reason why, because she got a praying people around her, and then also she's a woman. And
Mm-hmm.
also, I think those officers are so aware of her behavior that this woman is woohoo. That
Right.
and thank God that she ain't have an officer. It don't take much for them to have a bad day to take her out.
Right.
God, that they did everything right and said she don't need to be in a jail cell. She need to be in a mental institution. But
Right.
the bad part about this, Jezzo, because I walked in her shoes, that when you go there, you'll be just as fine. Just so you talk to me, I'm regular Wiley, all the regular Wiley, because what? I'm medicated. Okay, I do everything right. I go to group therapy, go to group, boom. They release me.
Mm-hmm.
They give you paperwork. They say, Wiley, Jag, y'all get out. Y'all gotta go to go to patient care. You gotta go to outpatient, right? You gotta
Mm-hmm.
medicine. You gotta meet with your psych doctor. They give you the facility to go. And in Texas, it is free, right? You don't have to pay for none of that.
Okay.
The same thing. They don't have to pay a dime for the medicine, nothing. And so when I got out, I'm like, okay, ain't nothing wrong with me, child. I ain't cry. I'm good, good. 'Cause I was medicated. But
Right.
one day turned into two, 2 days turned into four. Then I went right back with me being manic, going off on people, being belligerent, having these thoughts in my mind, hearing voices, and I went right back into the mental institution. And I got the
Really?
same paperwork again because I did not follow the doctor's instructions to get, check with the psychiatrist. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
I didn't go get the medicine. I threw it away. I said, there's something wrong with them. And then one day after the third or fourth time, because it's been in there so many times, I just woke up one day and I said, okay, I want to live a good life. And the doctor
Mm-hmm.
said, Wiley, he said, you need to take your medicine because when you don't sleep, it hurts you in the long run. You get the mania and all of that. And so one day I started to start complying with the medicine, start going to the doctor. And I haven't been in a mental institution in over 3 years. And
Now,
I,
was all of this in Chicago, or was all of this in?
well,
Mm,
Chicago was Chicago. This when it first happened. This one I didn't know at the time. My mom said I have power of attorney to take him to St. Bernard Hospital. So that was my first time in a mental institution. Due to the fact that uh she didn't have power of attorney. I didn't pose like a threat.
mm-hmm.
Social worker, they released me back to the family. They released me back to the family.
Right.
So, but I was still not well. So once they was able to once the family got the order of protection, they got two of them. My grandmother got one. My uncle, Bishop Carray, got an order of protection. They got both of these order protections. And then I got Jonathan called. He said, you can move to Texas. I'll move to Texas. Things were going good, but then it went right back to another breakdown.
Right.
This time the breakdown was worse because you know what I'm saying? The breakdown was worse because it was the library situation.
Okay.
And because I committed a crime, then now the state was able to intervene to get me help. I didn't go to the jailhouse. I went to the mental house.
Right.
Thank God it was just property damage, but I've known people that have breakdowns that did way more than property damage.
Correct. Correct.
So let's go way clear of that. I just knocked over a couple of bookshelves. So
Right.
and they tased me and I went to mental institution. So I was able to, and that's when
What they tased you?
they tased me because I took off my clothes. I got naked, butt naked,
What?
voices, yes. And I'm still trying to get that footage of when they tased me, but I didn't have on no clothes, no nothing. I was naked. They tased me.
Mm-hmm.
I completely lost my mind. And I was running in traffic and just the police tased me and they put me in a mental institution. And so that's why I didn't go to jail that day. I didn't go to jail for that incident until after I got out of the facility almost 3 months later. Came and they arrested me for the library situation. But thank God that I got the help. Can you imagine if the untreated illness where we at today? Thank God that I'm a 6'2" black man in Texas.
Mm-hmm.
So
yes, and trust me, I know.
They got protocol to take me out. And thank God that, and I think the only reason why they didn't take me out, of course, God, and then also I didn't have on no clothes. I was completely, how would that look? A completely naked man with nothing have been gunned down. That would have been a PR disaster for the state of Texas. And so
Governor Abbott wouldn't have not cared.
And they went governor. Of course, he wouldn't have cared. You'd have had activists. You'd have had my family getting,
exactly,
big crumbs and all that. Of course, they wouldn't care. It would be the public outrage that
he
had a mental illness and blah blah blah. You know how that goes. And so thank God that I was able to, I was able to get the help that I was able to get.
Yes.
My fear for Jag was I saw her going down that dangerous path where she was playing with the police, arguing with the police, cussing the
Mm.
police out. She was cussing out the TSA. She was saying she had a weapon in her purse. I think she was this close of having that deletion by cop. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right, right.
it was getting that close that she was going to start attacking people. So I'm glad that they intervened. But my fears with Jag because she had been dealing with this illness for years, and her family has been dealing with this for years. We're just now seeing it on social media, but they've been dealing with Jag, dealing with this forever. And it's
And maybe that's the reason why she lost her record deal and stuff like that too.
that's now it makes sense
It makes
of
sense.
why she lost a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
Kept blaming Jay-Z. Okay. She kept blaming Erica Badu. She kept blaming all this stuff. And then once you saw her behaving, when she put the ashes, I'm like, you got a problem.
When she started talking about now, okay, I'm gonna be real with you. I don't keep up with none of the stuff like that. You know what I mean? I'm older now. I'm moisturizing. I have Con Edison to pay, so I don't really keep up with all of this stuff like that anymore. I'm starting to get back into it, so I don't really know too much about what Jaguar Wright was doing. I've heard little snippets of things that she was doing, and when I heard about her just out the blue starting to talk about celebrities and like dishing dirt on them and stuff like that, immediately I was like, "Oh, this BM is crazy. She's crazy." Like, because I mean, like you think Jaguar Wright. First of all, we haven't heard from her in years, in eons, and she just out the blue just start coming out with all these different revelations about celebrities, and she knows information about them, and she's releasing all this information. And I was like, yeah, she's crazy.
Yeah,
She's crazy. She wants the notoriety. She wants some kind of fame. There's something wrong with her.
and
I
she
knew.
and then she kept saying Clyde is tracking her down. She was saying different things, and so now you
Clyde ain't worrying about her. Clyde trying to get her a little. Clyde Davis is trying to get him a little young buck. You know what I'm saying?
he ain't worried about her, and that's what I knew.
Exactly.
And then I think I credit those celebrities because they know Jag. Because you know the industry talk. They
Yeah.
know, and I kept saying comments, that woman can sing, but she's hoo-hoo. And they
Hmm.
this way for years. And you ain't seen that one celebrity come out and give Jack that energy because they knew the woman
Right.
not well.
Right. Yeah.
None of them, not a post, not a Instagram live where they were dragging her cuss up. They never met the energy because they knew they were more smarter than her quote unquote YouTube, let me with quotations, YouTube friendships that they get clicks and views. That ain't your friend because no friend of yours will use your mental illness for a click. And if you having a crisis and they're using it for content.
Let me say this. Number one, you got to have some kind of integrity for yourself and for your brand. That's number one, and respect for yourself and for your brand. Number two, there's a billion things, a billion other things that you could talk about than to talk about somebody who's obviously having a mental breakdown, some kind of mental health issues. You know what I mean? Because number one, whatever they're saying, you got to take with a grain of salt. That's number one. You know what I mean? And number two, it's not like the stuff is just not factual. So why would you have to? I feel like when you are a public figure and you're reporting, the news, the gossip, then you have to have a certain level of responsibility of the content you put out there to your followers, to your viewers, and it has to be factual. You can't just put out just anything without checking the facts, without doing fact check. You get what I'm saying? So
That is so true. And that's why, in this situation with Jag, I'm also coming from experience because I've dealt with the mental illness. I've dealt when I couldn't leave the mental hospital. And I just started Googling things about Jag. And then when Tasha interviewed her family, I was able to get a clear understanding of Jaguar because they were talking about she battled with mental illness.
Mm.
And I was getting more so a clear understanding of that, and it made it crystal clear. And because none of the things were making any sense, and she was just going on these manic rants, and she was saying things that doesn't, you can't put 2 + 2 together, because in their mind they are paranoid. It's so many disorders. It's a lot of things that she's dealing with, and that's why I said, oh, she really need the help. And I was glad that the police finally intervened, because it's challenging, because it's hard. She's a black woman, so they really don't care. But them all got tired of her harassing them.
Correct.
Tired of them call. I did the same thing. I called the Dallas cops so many times, Jezzo. They came to my apartment with guns because I was
really.
Yes. So I can, like, when I talk about Jag,
you can relate.
I can relate to all that.
Correct.
When you, I called them early in the morning. I kept calling them. They came to the house. They said, you have mental illness. They checked my records. They left. Now, what they should have did was put me in mental institute. They didn't do that. Now, to mind you, that's the day of the library situation. I'm about to commit a crime. And the police is called early that morning. The police is in my apartment. So I leave the apartment. And I had a roommate that I met on the Craigslist. I ain't in my right mind. I just let somebody move my apartment off the Craigslist that I met off the Craigslist.
Really?
I'm not rational. So I get in the car, and I thought she was after me or something. So I get out of her car.
The roommate?
Yeah, my roommate. I got out of her car.
Oh.
And I started pacing on the block. And I was so paranoid. I thought everybody was spying at me. I thought the government. I thought people was looking at me. I was looking in the sky. They kept seeing his planes. I was paranoid, pacing up there. And I kept calling 911. You know what they did? They hung up the phone. I kept calling back. So I kept walking. So I went to my cousin Jonathan's house. Walked, and just eventually got to his house. Maybe it was a while to get there. Walked all the way to his house. Opened up his door. Crazy. You my press secretary. I'm running for president. Now, mind you, I ain't old enough to run for president. I'm 28. Well, 26, 27 years old. I ain't old enough to run for no president. I'm running for president. I had a website saying I'm running for president. Blah, blah, blah. I'm going to take the place of Donald Trump. I'm running for president. I said, Tank, I want you to be my press secretary. He said, girl, give me your phone, take a shower, because I haven't bathed in weeks. And I haven't ate a meal because I thought something was in the food.
Right.
So I took a shower, the first shower in weeks. So because of Jonathan, listen to me that's in here that don't understand mental illness. This is why you got to educate. He didn't understand what I was going through. So he went to work. He said, oh, this is Wiley. He probably having a bad day, or it could be drugs, which it was not drugs. Then never took a drug, no cocaine, PCP, none of that, not even no weed. I wouldn't even eat none. And so he went to work, and them voices, I just went to the building. Now in Texas, they have apartment complex where they have like a community room where you get on the computers and everything like that. So I got on there. I downloaded a lot of pictures of Honorable Elijah Muhammad, the Nation of Islam. I just thought I was a Nation of Islam follower, and I was a follower of Elijah Muhammad. And I kept telling the police I'm a follower of Elijah Muhammad. I was saying all that stuff. So you know they.
Oh yeah, they definitely was watching.
So I just put pictures of Malcolm. I threw it all in the air. This is about Elijah Muhammad. This is about the Nation of Islam. I'm just throwing all this stuff everywhere. And then, okay, the library is right across the street. Go to the library. I have more pictures. I'm throwing it up. And then I said, this is for Emmett Till. This is for Sandra Black. This is for Miss Farrakhan. This is throwing the books. And I picked, I don't know where the strength came from. I picked, and that was a heavy, as I look at it, that was a heavy chair. Picked that chair up, and it was a glass door, and I threw it all on. Had security in it. Now, mind you, I'm doing a 30 to 40 minute rant in there. Like, no police have showed up. No cops have shown on the premises. They've been calling 911. So the alarm come out, then everybody rushed out of there, and some told me to take all my clothes off. And I ran and said, oh my gosh, you don't have no clothes. He's butt naked. Only thing I had on my thing is ID, social security card, and because most of the IDs were like Texas, was Chicago stuff. But I've recently moved to Texas.
To Texas, right.
Most of that was like all Chicago. So they was confused, like, you from Chicago? How did you get here? Like, they were so confused. And then the voice was like, well, why don't you just run in traffic? So that's how I was going to running in traffic.
What?
Yeah. And then at the police, I don't know where he came from. He said freeze, and he tased me, and I went chin first. Blood was gushing out of my chin, stomach, everything like that. So,
Now, did you fall to the ground when they tased you?
oh yeah, I felt it like chin first. Whoosh! I collapsed down, and it busted like my chin and my stomach was bleeding, everything. So they put the handcuffs on me, put me in the ambulance, and rushed me to the hospital. I acted a plum fool in that hospital.
Now, how does it feel being tased?
Oh, it's like electricity. It felt like it's hard to
Like a high voltage.
yeah, it's like a high voltage. Like everything is like at a standstill, and I just remember falling down like a tree, and just chin down.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? And boosh, blood just gushing. Baby, I went in that hospital. I was cussing out the doctors. I don't want no white doctors. I want black. So they had to get black nurses. They said, sir, can we check? I don't want no touch me, you blankety blank blank. So they said, hold him down. We have to give him some medicine because I was uncontrollable. And then they gave it to me. So everybody leave out of the room, and the security come and sat down. And so the nurse come in, somehow, what you do to the computer? I snatched the computer because one of the voices said, I snatched the computer off the wall because I thought somebody was watching me from the camera. I thought the white was watching me. So I distracted it and I threw it on the floor. The nurse said, who did that? I said, you blankety blank did that. And then next thing I know, the medicine came in, went, and then I started preaching, talking about Miss Farrakhan. This is a true story. And then I don't remember the rest. I just went to sleep and then I woke up and they would transfer me to Great Green Oaks mental institution. Absolutely. So
I truly believe you. My mother is bipolar.
Yeah, so it was like that.
So I know exactly what you.
So it was like I'm like, oh, I was going through it, and it took me a while to understand that bipolar, it's like night and day. You have, and when you are not medicated, you see the wrath of a bipolar person. You see it. They are the most entertaining people. Like I've done some YouTube shows when I haven't been medicated for weeks, and them some of my best episodes. Oh wow, you so entertaining, but it's hard getting off that manic high. It's hard to get off that high, and you need to get medicated because you got to get your chemical balance right. And the doctor, she always stressed, do you take your medicine? You have to take your medicine because you would think that I'm good because you medicated, and you think that I ain't got bipolar no more, just so I'm fine. Then a day turned into 2, 3 days turned into 4, 4 days turned into a week, and then now, Wiley, I'm having about 14 different conversations with you, and I'm just talking real black. That's when I'm manic. You be like, what are you talking about? Like, I didn't have about 16 type of conversations with, like, what is it? You'll be like, huh?
Now, was you always bipolar as a kid? And
never as a kid. Only thing as a kid, I was learning disability. Nothing about myself, nothing about bipolar, nothing. My brother was in and out of mental institution. My mother was in a mental institution. My uncle died in a mental facility, but never.
So it's hereditary. It runs in the family.
It runs in the family. So
mine too.
It never hit me until it hit me in my 20s. I was 26, Donald Trump, 2016, 27. So I'm about 25, 26. In my mid 20s, that's when it hit me, and it hit me hard. And it has shocked everybody in the family. To this day, he was on drugs because, again, a lot of the people, they don't understand manic behavior, bipolar. Understand it.
But you know what? In our community, period, our people are not educated on mental health. You know, mental health back in the olden days, mental health was a taboo. You know, it was something that our people would hide. Would shun. Even going back further to our grandmothers and great grandmothers' days, when somebody was born with a mental illness or developed a mental illness, they was either killed or sent away somewhere.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Facts. Yeah. Because you know what I'm saying? we talk about Brother Malcolm mother. Brother Malcolm mother spent the rest of her life in a mental institution, and their
Right.
institution were different. They were still knitting clothes. It was way different. It was, they put you on an asylum where it was tacky. It's way more better now than it was back in the early 1900s and the 1960s and stuff like that. And so I do it, and this wasn't me faking. Many people say, "Oh, he did that to go viral for YouTube." When that happened, I was not active on no YouTube. I completely lost my mind. Because if I did do it for YouTube, why I didn't stream none of that on my YouTube channel? None of that went on my YouTube. I didn't was not even live on YouTube, not even live on Facebook. I was a plump food. It was happening. So anytime, Jezo, if I try to run for public office, all them videos I'm talking about gonna go up. Because you know what I'm saying? You're gonna see all that. Look at him. How can he run for office? He don't have his right mind. He took his clothes off. And so it's only you can Google is a snippet, and this is why I understand how the media will manipulate a narrative.
Yeah.
They never give you the full story about Marquise Wiley, the breakdown. They give you a snippet of the library, but what make him do, like, they never, I'm a black man, so it's nowhere near to control the narrative. You know what I'm saying? So
But it's a good thing that you're talking about it now. So if you ever do decide to want to run for public office, it's already been spoken about.
It's already
you're controlling the narrative right now.
Yes, amen. And so that's, I tell that story all the time, because the Jaguar Wright piece, no matter how I try not to tell it, I look at Jaguar Wright situation, and I feel for her, but I also understand, baby girl, you're gonna have to do your work. It's gonna be a work. It's gonna be a challenge work, because you have to wait to get the right doses, the right psychiatrist. It is a work, but you have to be willing to work with your doctor.
But also too, she probably don't have the right support system around her either.
And the enablers that she have around her. She had a person around her talking about she R. Kelly daughter and Aaliyah daughter. Then she went and got another guy from a sex cult, Carbonation, got one of him in her house. So she started getting all these weird people in her house and weird people in her inner circle. And then also she have a husband that is an enabler.
But I question the husband too, because if you know all of this, then I want to know what is his role in all of this.
His role is he don't understand the severity of the illness, because either A, he have his own issues. He have his own issues. Like, he had PTSD. He was in the military. He have his own issues.
Okay.
And it's just unfortunate you have two people that their minds is compromised. That they shouldn't be together. She needs somebody that is trained, that is going to be there for, encourage her, say, hey, baby, let's go to counselor, let's go to the therapist, let's get the help. And when you see her get medicated, I hope y'all see that clean, calm, medicated Jaguar Wright. And I'm going to remind y'all of the story. Y'all know who Jennifer Lewis is, the black mother of Hollywood.
Yes.
So if you go to YouTube and type in there Jennifer Lewis Oprah interview, Jennifer Lewis shared something. And I wish I can play it, but you can't do it because Harpo Studios will be trying to send a copyright site.
Yeah, yeah.
She shared she was in the nail salon. The first thing she said, she was manic. And
I remember that interview.
She saw a house. She said, I'll take it, and bought the house.
I remember that.
So my manic behavior, I got an apartment in my name and my co-working apartment. So guess what I did? Because I was so manic and I thought I was feeling I could take over the world, I went to another apartment complex and got approved and got her. I didn't even know her like that, and got an apartment in my name. So I had two.
Really? So currently, right now, you have two apartments in your name?
I have only one now, but this is like back like 3-4 years ago, like after the library. This was like before the library situation. I did something erratic, and I had two apartments in my name.
Now, did she pay the rent? Did she mess up your credit?
She paid the rent, and I was manic, and I started hearing voices, and I thought she was coming against me, so I called the cops on her. Remove her from the thing, yeah.
Wow.
Mhm. I called the cops on her.
So
And
if Jaguar Wright was sitting in front of you right now, what would be your advice to her? Like what would you tell her? What would you say to her?
ooh, to take a break from social media and to really get a therapist and to
Mhm.
get a good psych doctor and to listen to the doctor and to please take a break to social media because she needed a detox. And that's what I love about the mental hospital, that you can't get on no computer. You can't get on no Facebook. It's only certain type of shows that you can watch that are approved. You can't be watching no rap. You know what I'm saying? It's like
Mhm.
when I was in a mental hospital, I slept like I just had to catch up on so much needed rest. And I told the nurse, she came in my room. I said, ain't nothing wrong with me. I'm fine. I need to get released. She said, you are severely depressed. I ain't depressed. You don't want to eat. I don't want to eat this food. Blah, blah, blah. I start cussing. So they transferred me to another hospital to get more treatment, to get better treatment. So they transferred me to another facility. And so then I just started to get the help. I was starting to sleep. I started to eat and I started to gain weight because it was a point I was 6'2" and I could see the bones like in my body. That's how much weight I lost. I just
Mhm.
stopped bathing and stopped eating. And it was really terrible. And I'm so glad that, and you have to first acknowledge, thank you. You have to acknowledge that you have an illness. I had to acknowledge that I was mentally ill.
Right.
I have a diagnosis that I am bipolar, that I have been diagnosed with bipolar. I had to I had to admit that. I had to come to it took me a while to admit that because I resisted it at every turn. And this was a time, Jezzo, that I didn't have no communication with family. Imagine you are in your mid-20s with a crisis
Right.
and you can't call nobody in your family.
Right. Maybe she has admitted it to herself that she has a problem. Maybe she knows that she has a problem, but
Resisting it.
she's resisting it. Right. She's not taking care of herself. She's not taking her medicine. And
And
like I said, she don't have the right support around her.
yes, and you burn a lot of bridges. Like people need to understand, a lot of people with illness. I put myself in the shoes. I have burnt bridges with a lot of people in my family to this day
Hmm.
that will not talk to me because
Really.
they remember the hurt and the cuss words and the drama, the harassment, the midnight calls, calling them 60, 70 times a day.
Even even after you revealed that that you have
Because these are quote unquote church people.
uh
Their mind,
they see you as a demon.
that's the devil. Yes.
Yeah.
So they are not. My uncle Bishop Cartwright, I was a big fan of church. Pentecostal, I was faithful in the church, went to church Tuesday night for choir rehearsal. I directed choir 645, went to Bible band, Wednesday night prayer, Friday night service. Said every second Saturday we had service, and all day Sunday from the morning until 9 or 10 o'clock at night. That was pretty much my childhood, my teenage years. I was active in the church, had the keys of the church. I was so active. And I can tell like red flags that started to develop that, and this is the piece, and I know a lot of people don't like to hear this, when you say that you're gay and then your church is telling you you're on your way to hell, you're gonna burn.
I was about to say that. I was about to say your people was doing two things. They was praying to get away from you, and there's praying for the demon to leave your body.
Yeah, so it was a lot. All of that kind of affected me, and it was a domino effect. And I started to resist the church and started to fight back. And I did it the wrong way. I was mentally young, and baby, that Wiley, if I had that old Facebook page, it's gone. And them old videos of the stuff I said to my uncle, he's a bastard,
Hmm.
and I never cussed that man ever in my life. But that day, them days leading up to that, it was so bad that my family, it's bad when they have to get an order of protections to remove you from the home. They can't even
Really?
they can't even wait to do no eviction because you evict somebody,
Right.
that's a 6 month, that's a process
Right.
to evict somebody. And so the District 7 police said, get an emergency order of protection because my grandmother was elderly and because I had all of those videos, they were able to use all those words and the court got an emergency order of protection. And I was served that night. She went in the morning and I was just downtown. Then I came home and the police said, you, sir, and get your clothes. You have to leave the premises. You cannot show back to this house. You can't even go to the church.
Now, do they still have an order of protection out on you?
That was like 4 or 5 years ago. It's over. Like, it only lasts for 2 years.
Okay.
Like for 2 years, I couldn't discuss them. I couldn't talk about them. I couldn't talk about them at all. And then one day I got the help, man. It was literally bad. And so I have like documents and the words that they share. And my uncle shared something in there. I couldn't even be around the dog. Now, mind you, when I got kicked out,
couldn't be around a dog.
Yeah, because when I went and got the order of protection, I went to Dallas. So you have about 30 days or to respond to the order of protection. They give you to challenge it. So I get on the plane, was so sick I was going through in my health. I was so sick. I went to Mercy Hospital in the hospital, and I said I gotta leave because I read in the court document that if you don't show up, that they could put a warrant out for your arrest. So I read that cover to cover. So I told the doctor I gotta leave here. So they released me against the medical whatever. So I go to the courthouse, and right when I get in, my grandmother come up there, and we get in front of the judge, and my uncle was there. He had got an order of protection when I was in Dallas, but I was never served with that order of protection.
Oh, wow.
He wanted me to go to jail. That it was so bad. This is a preacher. This is your uncle. This is your pastor. He wanted me to be locked up that day.
This is your mama's brother.
This is my mother's oldest brother. Yes.
Wow. And how did your mother feel about her brother getting order of protection on you?
I think then everybody was agreeing with that because they wanted me to get away because I was making videos. I had the LGBT community. I was in a ballroom groups, and so my mom was using some slurs. She was angry at that time, so I recorded that and sent it to all the ballroom groups in New York. They flooded her with phone calls. So it really got that.
Wait, Wiley. So you mean to tell me your mother got a phone call from the House of Revlon?
Yes, all the houses. Baby, they flood because my mama was so pissed.
The house of Issey Miyake and Gucci and
I don't know who the houses was, but my mom, when we were able to talk about it, she said I received so many phone calls. She said I had to shut my phone off.
Wow.
Because now I was the Wiley. I don't have the clout that I have now, but I had a little clout.
Wait, so the House of Chanel called your mother and
Kelly called and she went off like all of these people.
For real?
Mm-hmm. Like Kelly, the big Kelly. Yes.
Yeah. I know Kelly.
Yeah. She called, and so
Kelly Gucci.
They were flooding it. It was so bad, and Armand got involved because me and him were cool, and he didn't understand. Nobody understood mental illness. The rumor came. My uncle, they said either I have HIV or I'm on drugs. That was the rumor. That's what they know. It was the HIV and it was the drugs. And I don't have no HIV and I was not on no drugs. So that what it came. It was mental illness, baby.
Almost right.
It was the illness, baby. But they didn't want to call it what it was.
And they was embarrassed too.
They was embarrassed. Like this in the church, like they were like, what's going on with Marquise? Like this guy was just directing a choir. Like what's going? Everybody was confused. And so now that I'm good now, I haven't talked to my uncle in years. My uncle.
Would you talk to him? Like would you have a sit down with him?
I think one day, whenever it happened, like if I'm in the same area, we gonna talk. He have installed security cameras at the church because of this. he have installed barbed wire like gate doors on the church uh,
Really?
because of this. Because he feared that I was going to show up to the church and act a fool.
Have anybody else in your family, like now they know what was the what problem? Have they slowly come back and sat down and talked to you and stuff like that?
My mother did, and my mother posted something on Facebook because there was something going on with my grandmother, and she finally posted something on Facebook, and it's to sum up what she said, "You almost destroyed my relationship with my son. And now I see what he was trying to tell me back in the day, but I wasn't trying to hear him." So, now my mother was able to forgive me and apologize.
Hmm.
Able to apologize to her. I was able to apologize to her boyfriend. I was able to apologize to my stepfather. I was able to rekindle that. But his other family members still to this day don't care for me at all.
Really?
So I have family members that live in Dallas, Texas, baby. Close family, uncles and aunts don't want me around on the same block.
Really?
Oh yeah. So
Well, wait till you become bigger than what you are right now, and you get into your millions. They'll claim you then.
then they gonna call, right?
Then they'll call. Then they'll claim you exactly.
Hey, cuz, and everything like that. So I thank God for my immediate family, like my brothers and sisters. We're good.
Yeah, good. Okay.
My mom, good relationship. Is good. It's like a good relationship. It was so hurtful because I was like, man, and that enemy was able to play with my mind, baby. Like they just won't you just, they don't love you. I was in a bad place.
Hmm.
They don't love you. You can't even call your mama. Just take your life. I was in
Right.
a very dark place, but thank God that I was able to get the help.
To help you. Right.
Don't have this testimony. Unfortunately, they get their ways and they take it away. It was a YouTuber, I'm not going to say his name, a black YouTuber in Atlanta
Hmm.
committed. He ended his life. He committed, the word.
Really?
He terminated his life. A good looking guy, Ty Couture, good looking
I
guy.
think was he in the news or something like that?
Yeah, he was married. I think he was married or engaged or something like that.
He was in the news. He was on the news. I think I know who you're talking about. Yes.
And he had a successful career.
Yes. I remember. I know.
He battled with mental illness, and he first time he tried it didn't go through. He wasn't successful. Then he finally tried it, and he ended his life. So I'm always reminded of that when it comes to things like that, and because again, mental illness is real, and
Hmm.
and that's why we must. And that's why I always tell my story. I can't not tell it enough because I hope that this and it will help the next person because we have so many people that are running around that are not diagnosed or you get or not getting the help that they were
Yeah.
supposed to get the help. And
Hmm.
so, but it's people out there that is open about their illness. Like I love Jennifer Lewis. I love her dearly. That is
Hmm.
a sis that I would love to sit on the couch and talk to because
Right.
we walk in those same shoes. Though
Dude. Hmm.
have a higher career, but we have some similarities in our disorder. And so, and I appreciate that. And, I appreciate the fact that we are able, to have this conversation. And so when I look at Jag, I just hope that she will be able to teach young sisters that when she's able to get help, when she's in her right mind and complying with her medication, can you imagine her story of her getting in the studio? Then maybe you'll probably see her get into the studio, probably writing a book. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Probably be able to tell her experience in the business more under a sane, you know, balanced, medicated Jag. But we're here today, talking about her. And this is coming from a place of from my experience, because none of my competitors, they can't come from this place because either they don't have this disorder or they don't have the same shoes. If they do, some even
Like
won't
they don't have the education.
the education piece of it.
Hmm.
They just want the click and the view. But I
Right.
but I saw the train wreck that Jaguar was heading.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I'm like, I was so glad that she was able to get in the hospital. But my prayer is to her, and my encouragement to her and her inner circle is to encourage that Jag get the help once she get out of the hospital.
Right. Right.
Because that's when the real work starts. Because it's fine when you're in the hospital, you eat 3 meals a day, you're in group, you good, you back at your old self. But soon you get out, you back in the real world.
Right. And change her surroundings, change
Her surroundings,
the
yeah.
people that she's around. Yeah.
Just all in her car, going, and she need to be stable. You can't keep traveling all that. You gotta first get stable first before you start doing all that traveling in
Mm-hmm.
this city and that city. Like, no, sis, you need to make sure that you have a schedule. Like my doctor shared some. She said, if you go back to work, don't work a overnight shift.
Mm-hmm.
Work a shift where you work in the morning, you get off in the evening or something like that. You take your meds and go to sleep, so you get a full 8-hour rest. She said the reason why I don't want you work overnight is because I don't want to affect your sleeping pattern, because I don't want you to go back to them stresses, then that maniac,
Right.
and all of that. Because this is the doctor, because she and then I can tell, like, if I'm getting manic a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
I immediately call the crisis, get to the phone with the doctor, tell them this, or tell them I need another dose, or really comply, or really say, okay, let me take a break from social media. Let me really just rest and sleep, eat, you know what I'm saying, like that. So I can kind of see some type of stuff like, okay, let me that because I take 2 or 3 days off just to sleep and just to catch up or rest, just to have that mental break, because it's
Right.
just for my own mental health. And so I can see, because you will see different type, you will start to see different type of stuff. And I'm like, oh, okay, I see it now. Okay. And when you ignore it, it's gonna get worse and worse and worse.
How does your mental health affects your interaction with people in general, and then also how does it affect with your dating lifestyle? Like dating people and
It,
stuff like that.
it used to. I remember the depression used to hit me hard because I didn't have no relationship with my family, so that affected me a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I remember crying just to be crying. I was so hurt. Because you got to mind you, all I know is Chicago.
Right.
I'm in a new city. Don't know these people. Only person I know is Jonathan, but he's living his life. He's working a full life. So he living his life. And so I was so depressed. And then I tried to work it out. That hurt me. Had a mental breakdown at work. Uh, and they told me to leave because they said something about caregiver burnout. That was all about the mania and all of that. I was lashing
Mm-hmm.
at nurses and stuff. It started to affect my work. It started to affect my livelihood. And so now when I see it, now I'm in the gym, reading more. Audible books help me, and
Okay.
I love working out. So I'm doing different things. I'm not in no relationship. Like, I try not to add all these stresses, getting like roommates, because it was a situation was starting to be a little stressful with roommates and they drama with their man. So what did I do? I exit the situation. I got my own apartment with my own name on the lease,
That's good.
and I've been doing that for going on 3 years now. So, and start doing that and start being at peace. And then I start visiting home more, start being around my family, start to rekindle those relationships, start getting back and talk to my granny. And so that really helped me as a young man. That really, really helped me. And mind you, I was going through this in my 20s, and
Mm-hmm.
now I'm 32. I'll be 33 if it be the Lord's will in November. So, I'm glad that I'm able to, share my story with my audience, because I was really going through it, man. It was rough. It was really tough, man. It was so tough. It was not easy. Every day is a challenge, you know what I'm saying? Because now
Right.
I'm a YouTuber, and when you share things, you'll get people say, oh, he ain't take his meds. Oh, Wiley is manic. Oh, he did this to pander. You get all of that. And so to keep me calm, I just deliver the content. I don't too much focus on the comments like that. I come to
Mm-hmm.
my job, and guess what I do? I log out and I watch me a movie and eat me some popcorn, or go to the movie. I tell you, I'm addicted to going to the movie. You would catch me in the movies. I started doing something in my personal life, because I've started to know, like, YouTube can't be your end all be all. Like, you have
Right. Exactly.
outside the internet. So I will go to the movies like I date myself, and I go to the movies,
That's
and
what I'm doing now.
I have so much fun with myself, like
Yep.
and everything like that. Starting experiencing things, and then once I was able to get help, I started to look at women, started getting attracted to women. So, well,
Really?
yeah, sorry for I had
So
started
you back into the lady pond now?
back to the lady part. I just recently, maybe about a month ago, was sexually involved with a female.
Really?
It was
Breaking news. Hold on.
yes, 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 yes. It's breaking news to you.
Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, breaking news, and it was so amazing. And I came within like 4 to 5 minutes. Now, mind you, I've been with guys since in my 20s, right?
Mhm.
Hey, I can even go earlier than that. I've been dealing with guys when I was like 14, 15 years old because I was on the party line. I had no business on there doing some things to
The
grown.
phone, the phone, the phone, the phone line.
The phone line, you remember the phone
Me too. Me too. Me
line.
too.
So um,
Oh, those are the days.
I would, yeah, those days. So I was doing all that, and I've always been attracted to females. But once my grandmother decided she was going to keep her house, I didn't want to stay with her because I knew I couldn't be myself. So I moved with Jonathan. Now, mind you, I met Jonathan on Facebook. We only knew
Mhm.
each other for 1 week. I said, "Can I come stay with you?" My grandma, blah blah blah. He said, "Girl, come on." He told me years later. He said, "I didn't think you were gonna come. I was just joking, and you showed up with your garbage bags, and he allowed me to stay." And I've been knowing him since I was 19, 20 years old because I wasn't even legal to drink yet.
Right.
So I've been knowing him for that long, and now life had hit him, and now he's addicted to crystal meth. Now
Really.
life have hit him. And so when I got 32, I'm getting so mature. I understand life now. Madeira said something. I remember in her movie, and I think the Madeira, it's her first film that she came up with, and she was like, "What happened to such and such?" And Madeira said when she was making breakfast, "Life," and I'm like, life hit him hard.
And is he in Chicago?
No, he's in Dallas, just in and out of jail, in and out of
Wow.
rehab. This person that helped me, and I'm going to go see him Sunday. And this will be my first time laying eyes on him since about going on 3 or 4 years because
Hmm.
I had to separate from him because it was affecting my mental health. I didn't have the tools to help somebody with a drug addiction, and I've learned that they have to be willing to get the help.
Yep.
It helps. So I had to. It hurt me, and
Hmm.
acting and keep my mental health intact and my show intact, I left the situation. And so now I'm gonna go and see him just to lay eyes on him because I've heard that he's doing a little bit better. He's not
Hmm.
better now because he's still around these drug addicted people. I'm just gonna go and lay eyes on him. But yeah, I wouldn't be in Texas if it wasn't for Jonathan. He sent me the Greyhound ticket to get from Chicago to Dallas.
Wow.
Now life 6, 7 years later have hit him hard. So, and that's like a whole nother video and a whole nother thing about the about the crystal meth crisis in our communities that's getting the girls hooked. And it's affecting, you
Yep.
know what I'm saying? That's like a whole nother crisis that ain't really been talked about like that.
Yep.
So
Yep. Because I've met a couple of guys, and they wanted to smoke that, and I'm like, no,
addicted and that stuff, like it used to be for the that was like white people drug.
It was, yeah, definitely, yeah, it was, and
Black
now it became a black gay drug.
Yes, yes, yes. Like it don't really be talked about, but it's definitely that way. So I'm just glad that we were able to sit here and have this conversation with the one and only Jezzo.
Thank
Yes,
you.
yes, yes,
I'm
yes,
I'm
yes.
so glad. I mean, thank you for opening up. Like, I feel honored, that I was able to sit here and just have that conversation with you, and you opening up and stuff like that. And this is why your followers, your supporters, they love you so much because you have no problem with being vulnerable and being truthful with who you are. A lot of them, they relate to you. A lot of them, they may not have mental health issues, but they may have a cousin, a brother, a sister, a father, a friend, somebody else. So hearing your story helps them how to how to deal or cope with their friends and family and people around them. So
Yeah. No, like someone posts, I want to respond. It's got to be a replay. No, Jonathan have not transitioned. You're talking about Jaquez, my friend. That transition is called Jaquez. He transitioned recently, about a month ago, back in February. Not Jonathan. Jonathan is still in the land of the living. Okay, because I recently lost a friend, and about that, and that's why I tell people like don't have beef. Like I remember one time, this before Jaquez, may he rest in peace, became an ancestor. I was panicked and I cussed him out like a dog, and he didn't do nothing to me. I just like a dog. And a couple of years later, we were able to rekindle. And he said, "Bruh, I understand because I knew you wasn't right, and I'm glad that you're doing much, much better." And we started talking on the phone. We did collaborate on interviews. Fast forward to about last week in January, he transitioned.
Wait, he's a YouTuber?
He was a YouTuber. He used to do mukbangs. He used to do music. He used to do a lot of things. He really was into like starting a YouTube career as being a mukbanger, right?
And he's from Atlanta?
No, he's from Chicago.
Oh, Chicago, okay.
Mm-hmm. And he passed on.
I'm sorry to hear that.
It's really sad. He was, and I went to his funeral, and I saw my friend in a casket. None of his, only one of his close friends came. And I said, because when you get a lot of followers on Facebook, the girls give it, rest in peace, sus, blah, blah, blah. None of them showed to pay their respects. But only his one true high school friend, Lucky, I know him as Lucky, he showed up and he broke down in tears because that truly was, his friend. And I sat there and I was there and I supported my friend in his transition when he, of course, became an ancestor. And then I had to leave home and go to the hotel because he lived so close to my mom out in the suburbs.
Right.
Every time I see him, I can see him on Jack. I'll be hitting him like, "Hey, I'm in your city, blah, 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 blah." We
wait a minute. You said them on Jack?
I'm on Jack. Sometimes I have a number, and I was to see him on Jack. I'm on Jack or whatever. He'd be on Jack. I'm like, "Hey, I'm in your city," and we would do collabs. And I remember when me and my mom, this one, we was beefing hard, and it was still, we was getting there, but we went all the way. She wouldn't allow me to stay at her place.
Okay.
So Jaquel was like, "I'm gonna drop you. Are you cool? Are you all right?" I said, "Bro, it's fine." So my mom said something. Grandma ain't ready to see you. This before my grandmother had a stroke and all that. She ain't ready to see. She don't want to see you because what you said about the church. And my mama said. So I was angry, hurt, and I got into Uber and I went. And Jaquel was like, "What? Why?" I said, "Listen, I'm done with it." And I just thought that it was gonna be it. And Jaquez was there. He said, "No, that's your family. Try again. Give them time to process, etc." And then I was able to. He was very instrumental in helping me rebuild my relationship with my family.
That's good.
We in a good place. So I was glad that his last years that I was able to help him on YouTube, able to give him suggestions, able to help him to get monetized, and all the good stuff. I'm hurt that he wasn't able to see his vision come into place,
right,
fruition. But I was so glad that he passed and my hands is clean, that I didn't leave like we beefing. You know what I'm saying? I was so glad that it was peace. We were brothers in a very peaceful thing. And I knew that he was not well. And I knew that he didn't want me to track him down to see him, at his
way.
Driven away. I don't think he wanted nobody. He wanted, because he disconnected all communication. And I knew it. And I said, something ain't right. And then I went on Facebook and somebody made the post. And they said, "Rest in peace to Jaquez." I said, wow. Because I didn't see him on post. And then I went on his YouTube. He said he had 2 seizures. And this is what he posted like a couple of months before he passed. He posted on the, I didn't even see it because I'm still, I'm building the Wiley Show. So I don't have time to be looking at other people.
Right.
All that, I said, wow. And I started remembering things in private about, I said, okay, this is what his wishes were. He did not want his close friends to see him at the end, so we to feel sorry for him. I don't get into the details because most people, well, what he have? What happened? That's between him and God, and that's the privacy because his family, what they said publicly it was a prolonged illness, and that's what we're gonna say. To respect his wishes.
Mm.
But it was really I didn't speak at the funeral because I think if you know a person, you don't need to be out there speaking, do all that crying, taking up.
Yep.
You know they
Yep.
get to the cemetery, you taking up 3 hours. You ain't got to do that when you love them. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? You know, only people that take up all that time is people that was guilty, didn't really do right, and they want to try.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Clear the air, repent. Yeah.
Yeah. So you should have did that when Big Mama, and bro was alive.
Right. Exactly.
It's about about that when you have that relationship where they are alive and everything. So I was thank God for that, and just having that conversation, and I was able to share his story, about our relationship, as he was the first person, a close person that was really, because I've lost people that I've interviewed out of my career, but he was
Mm.
like a close brother, a friend that
That's,
I've lost, and I shared it to it. And that's life because you have friends gonna go. That's part of life. Some come earlier
yep.
than others, and you know what I'm saying? That's life.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just so glad I'm in such a good, and I handled it well, even though I ain't used no condoms with the female that I'm smashed. Just to use some condoms. I was pregnant. And I came up with that. I was really, really horny.
Never listen. You need to start wrapping it up. You already had an incident where we almost had a baby.
Yes. So yeah, I gotta wrap it up. And so, now I'm like, oh my God, I'm like, okay, because I don't want to have quote unquote baby. Like I have brothers, they have that baby mama drama. Baby mama get mad. You can't see your daughter. You can't see the daughter. Blah blah blah. I'm glad I don't, and that's why I was so glad that I was with men, because if I was just as ruthless like I was with men with females, I would have about 12 kids with females.
Oh Lord.
A lot. Can you imagine? I was ruthless with men.
Oh Lord.
So thank God that I'm negative and all that. 'Cause I was really,
I
really,
say the same thing. I
I
say
was
the same thing.
out there. Right, I was out here ruthless, and it wasn't always me wrapping it up. Most time I didn't even wrap it up.
I have to admit, I'm older now, but I
Yeah,
have to admit I was a thought back in my
I,
days.
I was,
I was a thought. I
I
could
was a thought. I was a thought, and I was a thought.
I have to
And
admit I've slept with a lot of married men
I
back in my days.
was an ordinary man too. I was really ruthless. I lived a very fast, life. And
Hmm.
the guy that we here to tell the story and be
Yep.
mature in our actions. I still could be throwing down with the get down with the get down, but I'm more mature now, and everything like that. I'm very cautious of what I do. And of course I had a little slip up with my female friend, but thank God. Okay, I'm good. All right.
She's not pregnant.
I don't know because somebody said she could pop up 6 months, say she pregnant. So
Exactly. I think you need to check on her, make sure.
I mean, that's how I've been checking on her. I'll be calling her, how you doing? Everything all right? I can't act like I can't act like that because I did a one night stand. Actually it was a 2 night stand because we did the next day. I lasted a little longer, but it was amazing. I
Was it?
mm,
Now, how long had it been since you had
with a female.
intercourse with a female? Yeah,
Oh, it's been over a decade.
prior to her.
Like she's the second woman out of my 32 years of living that I've been with. Full force, the second one. The only two women are her. The first one was a lady in the church, and her. Yeah.
And you haven't went back since?
I haven't went back because the last time I was in Chicago, I was so much focused on my grandma's 88th birthday. Um,
Mm.
so I haven't went back there and did it again. I want to. I think about her all the time.
Okay.
I think about it all the time, and I catch myself not watching, adult films with men on men like that.
Oh God.
Watching with women, and I'm thinking about her. So, I'm not saying that I'm delivered, can be delivered because I had a slip up maybe about a couple of weeks ago. So I'm not delivered. It's a such thing called bisexuality.
Sexuality, yeah, right, yeah.
I think that we don't give that enough. I think people say, "Oh, you ain't really bisexual. You just saying that to pander." Bisexual, what it means to break it down. Hey, your next ex. I'm gonna drop a link so you come on. It means that you are attracted to both genders.
But you know what? I personally don't like labels. You know what I mean?
I don't like labels
I
either.
don't like labels. You like what you like, and that's just what it is. Like you don't need to go into details about what exactly you like and how you do it and all that. No, it's nobody's business but you and the person that you're with. That's it. You know what I mean? Like you don't have to broadcast everything. I mean, if that's your prerogative, if you choose to broadcast it, fine. But I just feel like we're in a society where people feel like you're obligated to tell everything about you.
Absolutely.
And I don't like that.
Right. For me, because when I'm dealing with females, I don't want to say that I'm on the down low. I'm so glad that I'm a public figure. That I have dealt with men. The female that know me know I have dealt with men. She was intrigued to sleep with me because she kept saying, "Wow, you a different type of guy I wasn't thirsty for. I wasn't in her DM giving her peen pics and all this because I was still not really an expert with women."
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So I didn't come at her like she's accustomed to. So it's been years before I've been on her for years. We never got intimate. We never even kissed.
Really?
Time it just right timing. I was at the hotel. The vibe was right. Took out for dinner, liquor, edibles. The vibe was right. And so we did. But I've been knowing this woman for over 10, 12, 13 years. We just never, ever tried it because I've always respected women so much. And then I had a bad relationship with my mother, so I resented women.
Okay.
Once I was able to rekindle my relationship with my mom, we respect each other, we good. I started to really, really honor women.
So could you see yourself in a relationship with a woman?
I can see myself in a relationship with women.
Like
Absolutely.
get married and have kids and all of that?
I can see that. I've
Okay.
never ever saw myself marrying a man. Now, and I've been in this lifestyle since I was a long time.
Okay.
Not one man that made me get close to say, I want to marry. I've never met it. That could change because I'm still young. I'm 32. They can change. Some can change next year, and I'm walking down getting married to a man.
Well, I'm 43 and I haven't seen it yet, so.
Oh, okay. So, you know what I'm saying? Ain't uncommon. I've not met one man to make me say, I want to walk. I've seen a lot of girls when they passed the whole gay marriage, they ran to get married and they got divorced just as quick.
Oh, trust me, I know quite a few.
So they just did it for the clout and got divorced just as
quick. Yeah.
So I see myself with a family. And now that I have nieces and nephews, yes, I see myself being a father. Yes, I want to be a father. Yes, I want to have, get a woman pregnant and she have my children. Absolutely, I see myself. That's what I envision about it. Now, I'm not abandoning my community because there is bisexual men that have families. You know what I'm saying? I wish that those stories are echoed more.
Right.
Than the whole UDL and blah, blah, blah. Because it's some successful relationships with a guy that dealt with men and now he with women. Those people this. I just think they're not given the platform because society shunned them.
Right.
And don't give that. Now, a woman can say that she's bi and she did with men and women, and she get a platform, she'd be applauded, even though women get pushed back too. But if a man say, I dealt with men, and now dealt with female, can you imagine the pushback that he's going to receive?
Right. But you know what? But being DL, and I always have this conversation all the time with people when they bring up being on DL. Being on DL is not the same as being on DL from back in the 80s or whatever. Because being on DL today is different. You have a lot of men out here who is quote unquote, let me use my quarter fingers, who is gay, but they don't publicize their sexuality.
That's the difference. So
that's a difference.
breaking that down. That's like
Yeah, it's like being on DL is not your typical a guy who deals with women, but he deal with men on the low. That it's not like that in this day and age. And to be honest, it wasn't like that back then either. But that was more
and
promoted
and you
back then.
still have, because there was a brother that had on my show. He was DL because I talked about the DL topic.
Mm-hmm.
He got out the air, and then I'm like, "Whoa, that was weird. Like, what's going on?" And then he started sending me messages, wanting to flirt with me and be with me, and I never did it because he's married,
Right.
wife, and children. Right, so you still have those guys, and those the dangerous ones. Them old school.
Yeah, yeah. Those. Yeah.
Them ones that you got, baby. You about to go. It's a book that this woman wrote called "The Gay Preacher's Wife: How My Gay Husband Deconstructed My Life and Reconstructed My Faith." You need to read this book, ladies, because he gave her something. But anyway, and it wasn't no check. All right. Anyway, and so them the type of guys that you need to be watchful for because they still do exist.
Yeah, they do.
And so when he did that, first of all, I never was attracted to him.
Mm-hmm.
And number two, you are married with a family. The old Wiley wouldn't have gave a darn if I was in my 20s. If you look good,
Right.
I would just did it. But
Me
now
too.
I'm mature, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, this is too much mess. I don't want to get involved with this. I'm a public figure.
Yep.
You are.
Karma is a biatch.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to call up and you show up to my house and it's all this drama.
Mm-hmm.
And then he just instantly went away because all his advances, anytime he came to Dallas, I never paid him any attention. He just poof went away. And I moved on because I'm moving more strategically in this business because I can't move the way I was used to move.
Yep, you have to. Yeah.
Back in the day, times have changed and I'm getting older.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's what I love about that. But I love the fact that we are having these honest conversations because I know it's going to help a lot of people that is out here in the social media world that are going with these situations. But I had having this conversation with Jess Zoe. I feel like more of these conversations need to happen. Now, when I do Harry, it's going to be some pushback because that's I don't know if I would ever broadcast it publicly. I may keep it private because of me. I'm such a controversial public figure, and people will try to come at her to get at me. So it won't surprise me if I will keep. You may know who I'm dealing with, but I'm not going to be like over publicizing my relationship like that because once you give it to the public, it's hard to take it away from them.
I feel like when you're in a relationship, there's just certain aspects of your relationship that is sacred between you and the person you're with.
Absolutely,
and not everything should be or need to be publicized.
Absolutely. So yeah. So if I ever were to seriously get into a relationship, I will keep it private. Like if it's serious, if I'm engaged, I will keep it private as much, and I will sit her down and let her know who I am. And the women that will come, I know me, will know how I am because I'm such an open book. And we will strategically move around and say, okay, is this something that we want to say publicly? And we would sit our families down. I would talk to her family because you're dealing with a man that dealt with men. So, I want to put that out there before the streets tell them so and everything like that. And typically what I've ran into, even the female that I know, was she dealt with women, but it's a difference, I feel, when women does play both sides.
Oh, yeah, it's a double standard. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's such a double standard.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I think that you will be able to find a great, successful woman that will honor you and love you, and y'all will love each other. Y'all would just have to black out the naysayers because the naysayers you ain't walking the naysayers down to get married. You here with your woman. And so that's the type of spirit that I want.
And that's the thing that bothers me about that double standard because when it comes down to men, and I'm gonna speak more so with black men because black men really has a big issue with homosexuality. You know what I mean? Our other counterparts don't really have too much of an issue. Mainly black men that's really strong-minded when it comes down to homosexuality. And I always ask them, you're okay with a woman being gay, but you're not okay with a man being gay.
Oh,
So technically you really don't have an issue with a man with homosexuality.
yeah, so that's what I'm saying. So now we have on here, I agree, that's a good point. Your next ex, a member of the Wiley Show.
It's
Welcome,
Hey,
me.
how are you?
welcome.
How are you?
I'm doing good. So
So,
I'm just
why
having.
did you call me up?
So no, I had called you up because I didn't know if you want to dive into the conversation about this. You in Dallas, Texas, of course. You
Okay.
you were getting some pushback on there supporting the Wiley Show, et cetera, et cetera. And I want to say thank you, brother, for having my back because so many people say stuff about Wiley because I am controversial. Number one, and number two, I think a lot of people they throw around defamation lawsuit. You're gonna get sued for defamation, and you said something so great when you went on this platform. You said it's a process to sue. There's legal merits you must meet to in order to have a successful defamation lawsuit. You can't look at Tasha. Tasha broke a lot of, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And that was a
absolutely.
lengthy process. And guess what? She's still fighting to this day. So you had my back. Not too many people have Wiley back. And I saw that they were dragging. And the only reason why I didn't come on the show is because I was at Applebee's and I was drinking. And if I knew I went on, I would have said some things that I would regret to say about. But I love the fact that you was able to sit there and just to have a response and you are a subscriber, you subscribe to another YouTube channel, and you're no longer subscribed to there. He pretty much wanted to end whatever the relationship. You decided to support me, and then when you was defending me, he decided to say, "Go and support the wheelchair people." Last time I checked, I ain't in no wheelchair.
Okay,
The
what,
wheel, the wheelchair people aren't in
what wheelchair are you in?
no. So we're in a wheelchair. And so, not none against people that's in wheelchairs. I'm not in a
Right.
wheelchair. So, and these people were at one point, they were Wiley Show supporters. They were on Two Man and a Lady.
I
So,
know all the history.
so
And
all the history. So when these people do all that talking, we got hit. They were flirting with me, talking about how good I'm looking. Oh, hey, baby daddy. I was baby daddy.
oh, same thing with me too. So
Okay, so once they got more followers, they fall as the old folks would say, you start smelling yourself and you
yeah,
go right ahead, and they get angry when Wiley have supporters that will defend Wiley. Now you don't agree with everything that Wiley said, but you just defended like you keep talking about defamation, and then he kept saying you're gonna storm Monroe, he's gonna file harassment. That is a process for that because I'm
absolutely.
not stalking Storm.
Exactly.
So if that was the case, do you know how many people would come after comedians with harassment charges? Like that's a process. So so I'm glad that you kept your cool. You have a low key demeanor. You not ghetto and ratchet. I didn't even know how you look. And you know what I'm saying? We both in Texas, and you had my back, and I saw it, and I said, brother, that and you did it so calm. You weren't ghetto. You was just cool and calm, and you just stood your ground. And he went on an attack because he didn't like that you support me and that you called him out on his behavior. And you were, correct me if I'm wrong, not a member because I don't think he monetized yet. I don't think he even wanted to be monetized, but you were a supporter on his panel, and then he decided to come at you wrong. And then also you emailed me for the town hall. Now this is what we have. I don't know if you saw it. Let's put up the flyer.
Let's see
Okay.
it.
For the town hall.
Okay.
That's going to be a town hall meeting. Would you support your child who wants to transition? That's going to be this Saturday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, streaming live on the Wiley Show page. Okay.
I will definitely be there.
So we'll be there. And so it's really, really great because number one, you are a paid member, you are professional, you didn't cuss me out, and you have a right, and I have to be on my P's and Q's to respond to y'all promptly because you hit me up on the Wiley Show production. So now I have to check both emails, Wiley Show Productions and both emails. It was a couple emails that I forgot to respond to. So I love the fact that you didn't throw me away. We were able to resolve it, and you want to participate in a town hall. There's not too many people that does a town hall, but you're gonna see more of that. Just watch your next ex, Jezzo. They're gonna be having town hall too.
Really?
Because they said we don't do nothing original. And so they're gonna be having town halls as well. And we drop the flyer and we do what we do. I get judged a lot because the way that I look. So they could just say whatever they want to say at Wiley because oh, you look weird. So we can say whatever. And they say these type of things about my looks, but they can't say nothing about my talent because you have to watch my videos to critique it. That's a talent that because you have to watch me and you have to critique me. And I'm glad because now I'm going to get that karma. Remember when I was dragging Armand and all these people? I'm going to get dragged too. That's going to happen. You're going to have YouTube content. Use me for content. I get that. I just don't want people using my content to drag me playing my videos. I don't like that at all.
Absolutely.
But I'm glad. I don't know if you joined the town hall because I don't know if you in the community. I don't know your thing because you said you have to go on a date. I think you had a Jack date.
I'm bi.
You bi.
Yeah.
So you understand that. So when you say that you're bi, you have dealt with females before.
Yeah, I have a kid.
You have a child.
Yes.
Okay. Look at that. So you gotta join the town hall.
Oh, his inbox is gonna be lit tonight.
Yeah, his inbox gonna be lit. Actually, did your girl knew that you dealt with men? Did she know upfront, or did you come out as bi later on?
Oh no, she's bi too. So
okay, so they know.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah,
so
it was great. We definitely got into some things.
And a lot of people would say, they always ask this question, well, what do you like more? You got to pick more like it's ice cream and cake. If I had asked that question, I would say females because I came quicker with a female. I mean, it was like, I'm just new to this. I'm still new to this with females, right? Just the second one. I went in there. It was like, the warmness, the depthness, the juices, it felt good. And then I kept whispering her ear. And this was wrong to say that. Don't get judged me. I want you to have my baby. I got that from Tyrese. I want you to have my baby and all that. I say whatever, And the next thing I know, she started scratching my back and moaning in my ear. And I said, wow.
Yeah.
So are you a top or bottom?
See, that's where. Now you just asking too many questions.
Okay, you don't want to know about that. And so I'm a top. I tried the bottom. I couldn't. It's painful for me. I never. The way I used to ram it in back in the day, I used to ram it in there.
Oh my God.
One time was a guy. His name was Alex, and was his first name. And I rammed it.
I'm clutching my pearls right now.
I just rammed it in there. Like
see, I just think that like when it pertains to sexuality, like when people lead with their sexuality, it's so boring because
it's very boring.
because like that's the least interesting thing about me.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'm like what's my relationship with my son? What's my relationship with my family? What's like what do I do for a living? Like
because you are
I speak 3 languages. Like
right. There's so much more to you than your sexuality. Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly. So like when people just lead with their sexuality,
I feel the same way.
Like we all have the same equipment. Like it's just
right.
So boring.
I hate
what is between our legs.
Exactly.
Correct. I hate when people say, "Oh, this is my gay cousin" or "This is my gay friend." Like I don't like that. Just this is my cousin, and that's it. Point blank.
Because I don't have people to say, "Oh, this is my straight cousin." I don't.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
They put us and
like the people that ask that, like it's probably not gonna lead anywhere anyway. So why?
Right. And I want to ask you because I don't know, how's your son? How old is your son now?
He's 4.
He's 4. So of course y'all don't have those conversations.
No.
Are you going to have that conversation when he's older that you are bisexual? I know you're going to wait till he gets to a certain age, and I can't wait to that town hall, baby, because them questions, I know, because I said, because you were so passionate, like, this guy and you send me an email on, when you reach out to me on station here in the inbox, in an email, I said, this brother really want that town hall.
And I like holding people accountable, you know. Like,
I love that. And you an accountant, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And I heard that about. I'm like, okay, this guy's an accountant, so he got money. So I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
And I just love that and I was in the restaurant, and I just love that you were just as calm, just your demeanor. You remember when I interviewed Mr. Ponder?
Yes.
And you remember how I was just acting ignorant? Oh, man, he acting a lot. Mr. Ponder was like, drink water. We want you to be here for a long time. Stop drinking up energy drink. He was just so, Mr. Brian Ponder never lost his cool. Do you remember that?
Yes.
I acted a plump fool to the point one of my closest friends that worked with me behind the scenes, she called me and she sat me down. She said, listen, you need to apologize to Mr. Brian Ponder because that was ignorant what you did.
See, and that's the reason, like when you know somebody's gonna be like crazy and just unhinged, like you get at them more, like whenever you maintain your composure. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, like hey, that demeanor. Listen, you just throwing out narratives. This is like facts. Stop drinking the Red Bulls. You don't want to be like he was just like. It was entertaining. Like if you
it really was. But see, like I can get like that.
Yeah.
Like
what purpose it is for you to be like that and stuff
exactly.
Like that. So
and
I love that. And
give somebody enough rope and they'll hang themselves. You know?
Have enough rope to hang themselves.
Yeah.
And of course, we go on to the gun range because you said you was at the meet and greet. I'm like, where were you at? You was at the meet and greet.
I embellished that a little bit just. Oh,
I understand it. I get. Okay, he was at the meet and greet.
Like
I wanted. I said I would remember you at the meet and greet.
Yeah, because I wasn't gonna let anybody just talk
at me
about you and come at you crazy.
Never done meet and greets and stuff like that. Of course, we're not like Tasha K, have those Tasha K followers, but that doesn't stop me. It was about 9 of us in the restaurant in Plano, Texas, and look at the pictures that we post. I'm never going to stop doing. I don't care if it's just me and you talking. I'm never going to stop talking and meeting my people and be ashamed because only 9 people show up. Because one day is 9, and the next year could be 900 or 1 million. You cannot always be honor of the people that follow you now. And don't throw them away because those are not massive numbers. And you never know. So I appreciate it. We was just in West Clucking. It was about 9 of them. And one lady came all the way from Arizona.
Okay.
To travel to Dallas, Texas to see Brother Wiley.
Hey, shout out.
That was nice.
And we went to Heroes Lounge. I mean, thick. I know she don't like me sick because she married. Baby, she was thick. I got some sexy. Can I use the word sexy? Beautiful black women. I'm going to use the politically correct. Beautiful black women and thick. So we went out there and we went to Heroes Line. It was so amazing. And I'm glad that I'm doing those meet and greet. I ain't waiting until I get to Tasha K level to 1 million. I'm doing it now. So, building that.
Do she do meet and greets?
She just did one. She recently just did one.
Okay.
Atlanta, Georgia. She paid, and it was really nice, really successful. But I know I can't compete with that yet. But I can do it on a smaller, intimate scale. And then when you see with those people, it's just like, what do they call it when you talk to when Oprah used to talk to the audience, she would get information. So they will tell you ideas, and I was learning.
Focus groups.
Focus groups. It was like a focus group. They were telling me the shows that I do. Like when Wiley say thick, like they was quoting me. I'm like, oh my God, like it was so good. And they just took over the conversation. Like we stayed in the restaurant, and then when I met the owner, Angie of What's Clucking, and mind you, I'm coming in the restaurant as a regular as a person. They always respect me as Mr. Wiley. So finally they were able to see, and I didn't tell her I was coming. So she showed up to the restaurant. She said, Wiley, you should have told me. Oh, thank you. We took a hug. We took pictures. I did that. And I'm gonna always honor and support Black businesses. And then I love the fact that we was able to sit there and have those conversations. And I don't shy away from that. Like we did Vegas last year, it was lit. We went to Usher, we're doing it again. So it's no telling where else we're gonna go. And I'm glad you're following me on my show, and you love my show. I don't know why. I would ask you.
I do. I'm here pretty much every live. I'm always in the comments.
Yeah. Like you hear, like I always see it, your next X. And I see, wow, you break a lot of hearts, probably. Anyway, so you always in the chat. I'm like, is this man a troll? Because he got a body pic. Is he a troll? I'm like, okay, I ain't gonna judge him. Because we will always talk in the chat. And you say, I'll live in Dallas. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I'm station head in
you on station head too. You in a membership, you are a Wiley Show supporter. But I want to ask you, what made you support the Wiley Show? What made you come here as a man? Because usually typically they say Wiley don't have any men supporters, but what made you come and say, hey, let me support the Wiley Show?
Let's see. I found out about you through Mob Radio, and it was y'all's like exchange, like back and forth whenever you called into her show, and I thought everybody was coming for you, dragging you in the comments, but I thought you were hilarious. So so I was like, okay, let me go see what he's about. So that's when I started following you, and like, yeah, I just you always like the content since. So
yeah, and you've been here, and that's been a while. And I mean that my radio people can't stand why they be dragging me. I love it. I'm funny. It's entertaining, and I love Milagro Graham. That sister, good looking. All right,
definitely, Millie. Yeah,
and that voice does it. That's a turn.
And she's here in Texas too. Yeah,
she right here in Texas. Yeah. And I want to meet her, but I said a lot of stuff about her husband. With me, so I don't know. And then I crab legs, and she said she had hit me with the crab, stabbed me with the crab leg. So I don't know if we'll link up. But that voice, that Houston twang, that's the Megan, that's that vibe, like that. Yeah. That turns me, and I love getting her upset. I love her cussing me out. And I wouldn't even let you smell my young. Like when she said that, I used to replay that over and over in my head. Anyway, I kind of laid off of her. I stopped watching it because I've been so focused on the Wiley Show. But man, I used to go on her lives just to get under her skin and have her to cuss me out on it. And then when she used to bring me on there, and their fans used to drag me for Phil, and I never like cussed her out because I love her. Like that's my girl. Like you know, I would love to hit that if she wasn't married. Even if she is married, I think I would ask her husband permission. I think if hey man, can I hit your wife? Hit that and take it. And see, so she's everything. And so it is what it is. I'm just glad you're here, and everybody keeps saying, "Oh, he's good looking." Oh, this. I'm like, okay. And you are an accountant, so you're very busy around it. This tax.
Oh my gosh, yes.
I'm coming to Texas to get my taxes done.
Yes. Can you imagine him doing your taxes in a wife beater?
I'm coming all the way from New York to get my taxes done. Hello.
And so about business and stuff, and he's gonna help me with my some business side of the Wiley Show. And you've been because you was posting that stuff. Okay. Yeah, so we have him on the show. So I'm glad that you're here.
But you just know I got your back like a sweater in cold weather.
Yeah, I'm glad that we were able to have that. I've never seen your face. I've never seen you on any other channel ever. And so, until you did that and you defended, and my people send it to me, I said, oh, wow, I got to meet that brother. And I said, is that the same, your next ex? I'm like, that's him. I said, oh, I can't wait. And I couldn't even wait to go live. I said, I ain't sleeping until I do this live first. And the way I set it up, I don't know, did you watch the full live?
No, I didn't.
Okay, good.
I saw that you had went live, but I wasn't at home. I just got home.
Yeah, because you had to go. You had to go somewhere. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? You had to do something. I don't know what you were doing. He had to go somewhere.
Yeah.
And so what I've learned in this show from Mr. Ponder, that you gotta make your guests feel welcome, because you don't know who you talking to. and what that man could do for your career. So I think the guests, they were so into the roasting and gagging that they missed the mark of having dialogue and conversation. And Wiley, because I'm medicated, hey, and I learned from that Mr. Ponder, I'm like, okay, let me give you that cool Wiley. There's no time for me to get ignorant. And and now we were able to talk for 2 hours and 35 minutes talking with somebody that's in the LGBTQ community, and we have in dialogue. And so that's what the Wiley fans miss, because I ain't crazy. I'm listening to them comments. Wiley, I don't like when you them preaching, loud talking, yelling, all of them out here, I turn it out. Let me push back the preacher character. I tried to develop the character. I did it for a while for the Larry Reed. I said, okay, let me retire that character. I'll bring it back on a Sunday. So I learned and I read. I didn't want to receive it. But when I saw that brother, Yo Next X with Kyle, I said, okay. Oh, let me bring that smart Wiley, that calm, cool Wiley. And I came, and the way we laid it out, Jezzo hit the link. He didn't know what we talking about, but he came with some facts and from experience, and we had a whole show, because the way I set it up, it was good. I set it up really, really good. So that's what the fans miss. They love the calm, cool Wiley. It turned off people yelling, preaching loud, and that happened. You can do that every once in a while, but that wasn't a long-term strategy. And I want to say thank you to those subscribers that drag me in the comments. You're supposed to drag me. That makes me better as a content creator. You didn't drag me. You was like, you didn't answer my emails and blah, 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 blah. I'm like, what are you talking about with the town hall? You ain't even got no kids. And that brother, you said, I have a son. I'm about to say, see how you can't judge a book by its cover?
Yeah.
Yeah. I just thought, this person a bottom. He got a bottom. He got no kids. And you have a whole son here that can offer a perspective of this town hall. And you count, and we put the flyer out, and it's going to be this Saturday. And we want Jess Zoda join us as well. And we had invited some special guests. We got All About the Tea. We got Don. And for the first time, we have Don's wife going to come and join. They're going to be live in the studio with us. And we invited other people to come to this town hall. And I need everybody to share the flyer to your friends. Say, hey, I want y'all to tune into the town hall. I want this to be good, successful, so we can do another. I want it in person, but we had to get security, because people love to get ignorant. We doing it virtual style. And I would love to have you, Jezzo. I don't know if you want to come.
Yeah, I will come. Yeah.
Because Jezzo, he been on camera for years. He's on the thumbnail, but Jezzo have showed himself. That's an OG.
Oh, yeah.
Is media industry. Like, go and you got your old videos on your channel, right?
Yeah. Everything is still up there.
Up there, like, you really really, and that's that New York.
Yeah, everything is still up there.
That New York, brother.
I'm coming back this summer.
I can't wait to see you
back. Yeah,
I can't wait to see you back. And we got your next ex.
That's me.
I gotta have you. Yeah, I love that. So where did you go? You went to the gym? It seemed like you're physically fit.
I did not go to the gym, but I got a workout in.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, workout. Okay, because it's time to work out. Okay. Did that workout consist of being on the bed?
Yeah.
Okay. We can work out buddies and stuff like.
How many push-ups can you do? I'm looking.
He said, how many push-ups can you do?
In a row, probably not that many, like 25.
25.
I can't even do 3.
20, because I've been lazy lately.
25, that's it?
Yeah.
I think I could get you to do 30, 35.
I'm sure I could, but
Okay.
I'll let y'all get back.
And so, because I don't know what part of Texas, like, it's a trail that I want to take some. I don't think I want to take people to the trail. I want to keep that to myself, because I don't want y'all to be stalking me. Hey, Wiley, for the Wiley Show. And I don't want to be like Jussie Smollett. Hey, Wiley, this is for Empire. This is for MAGA. I don't want y'all to be going out when I'm going out for a sandwich. So I don't know if I show you because that's a good peaceful place. Because some of y'all will go to Wiley. It's my family. I bought you a cake. I don't want to eat your cake. I ain't eating it. Get out of my face. But I love the fact that I'm building a community relationship with my supporters out here in Dallas. How long you been? Are you born and raised in Dallas, or you come from another place?
I was born in South Florida, but
Wow.
Nice.
yeah, Key West, but I spent most of my life here in Texas. But also, I lived in Germany,
Wow.
I knew
all
it.
through high school. And
Germany. Why didn't know? Okay.
Do you have military background?
no, I don't.
Okay.
My pops, he actually was just really big on that. Like my dad was also an accountant, but he was just always big on like what am I trying to say? I have all brothers, right? I have five brothers,
Wow.
and just he wanted like just black people in general to be more financially literate, and like so, and also like learning languages, seeing different cultures and stuff like that. So I was actually an exchange student in Germany, so that
Nice.
I was there. So just experiencing the culture and learning the language and stuff like that. So all of my brothers, they all speak a different language as well. Because
Do you speak Spanish, German, and English?
yeah, my dad's actually from the Dominican Republic. So
Wow.
Okay.
Oh
yeah,
wow.
yeah.
So I love that because I know for a fact I know you're gonna probably get your son into other languages and
Oh
like
yeah, he's already started. Yeah.
so
So
you know what I'm saying. That's why we trying to tell my nieces, hola.
because when they're so young, they're like a sponge, you know.
They're like a sponge. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's what I'm saying. So
So
I've been trying to tell. I know when I have children, I'm gonna make sure they get into that as well, and I'm gonna learn it as well. And of course, we're gonna talk on the back end because I don't know if you're gonna come to the gun range that we coming in April, the third Saturday of April. I don't know if you're coming to Vegas in October, but that's gonna be.
I cannot do Vegas. I cannot do Vegas. I will lose everything.
Like,
Uh-uh.
we're doing that, and then we're doing a cruise. We're gonna have that now. We're doing a cruise next year, our first cruise that we're doing, and we're
On the
gonna
cruise, I could possibly
yeah, we're
do.
gonna do that. And so I'm just doing all this type of stuff, and that my friend he's gonna work with us on that, and we're gonna post a flyer and all the website where you can get on the payment plan and all of that. This is my first time getting my passport, so I'm excited about that because I never done a 7 day cruise. I said I want to do a 7 day cruise. I
That
said
sounds like fun.
yeah, that's gonna be lit. And so I'm building that, that community thing, getting to meet my people, and we have our own family. And I do want to meet you, and then we can link up and go to the gym and all that good stuff. I met a subscriber at the gym.
Okay.
No, I met a subscriber at Kroger's. Good looking man. Right? And I said, yes. He said, I was watching Tasha K and Kroger's. Good looking chocolate, body built. And the only regret is I have a tendency not getting the subscribers' information. Oh, like, yeah. I'll be so in my zone. And now I'll be like, let me get your information. Let's take a picture. So now I'm going to get a haircut tomorrow because I'm going to be more accommodating. I wish I would have got him. I was in Kroger watching Tasha K because she was doing Fuckery Friday. And I was in Kroger's getting me some chicken wings. Good. I mean, that man was so good looking. He was in the gym, physically fit. And he said, Wiley? Yes. And so, I met a couple of people that was here in Texas. So I can't wait to see your next ex.
I'm around.
Yes. I'm glad because you're mostly in my shows a lot.
Yeah.
And I love it.
Why are you shocked?
I'm just like, I'm always shocked when people say that keeps me humble.
No, it really does. Yeah.
It keeps me humble.
It
Like
does.
all those beautiful black women that when she showed up to the where's my black rose? I ain't got it. I'm gonna use the example. This woman showed up and bought me some chocolates and bought me a bottle of wine, Stella Rosa Black. I never had no black Stella Rosa Black. I get some. I never had it. I was so honored that she brought it. And so now I'm drinking black Stella Rosa Black. And I got I had a subscriber bought me some wine glasses. And so I love that we was ate and we talked for a long time at the restaurant. And then we went to the club later on that night. And so I loved it. Because y'all been telling me do something in Dallas, Wiley, you don't want to do nothing. And then I hardly want to go outside and meet y'all. But now I'm outside. I go to Marty's. I go to Heroes Lounge.
Okay.
I go out to Jaguar. I go to Applebee's. I saw my friend, good looking guy, sexy, good looking man. So he came in there. He said, Wiley. He gave me a hug, and I just wanted him right then and there. And he used to cut my hair, but I had to stop having him cut my hair because he was too attractive, and I want to be with him. And so to keep my money in my pocket, I said, I had when somebody else, a person, this other barber, I'm not attracted to him, so I can keep him as my barber. But he was at Applebee's, and that's why I couldn't do the live. I was distracted by that cologne smell. That's a man's man. Anyway, I told you I'm bi. Okay, if I see a good looking man, I gotta say something. And he watched the show. He know I have a big a big crush on him at all. He think I'm very funny, and I love that. I want to ask you your next ex on Saturday. Will you have a conversation on the show publicly like you're doing tonight, or no?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm not shy, so yeah.
I love that. He is an accountant, and then we could talk about finances and taxes and
I'd rather not. Yeah.
Yeah, we could
do that all day.
Because one thing about my show is a very versatile show.
No, yeah, yo, it really is. Yeah, if you talk about politics, religion, social issues,
yes, that's what I love about the show, and I get that by watching Jess Zoe, Oprah, Sherry Shepherd, The View, Fox News,
and that's good because people are really fickle. They just like the wind blows. They come and they go, and they just. So like it's good that you switch it up. That way you can
like you get that little
you gotta be able to hold people's attention.
Absolutely. Like we are literally doing a show and kept 300 plus people watching me for 3 hours. So in the middle of the night watching us. So that's an honor to do this, and they're gonna really make you some content your next ex. They're gonna be like, that's Wiley boyfriend. He got his man stash on the show. They screwing. That's what they say. That's his man.
I literally.
I never met this man a day in my life, and if it is my man, who cares?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's a whole account. That ain't no read. That's a come up. Anyway, I also want to ask y'all in my close to Jess Zoe. Do you see yourself being married? And then I'm going to bring it to you, your next ex. But do you see yourself being married one day, Jess Zoe, to a man or to a woman? Do you see yourself going down the aisle getting married?
I toss and turn about that question because I'm a Cancer and I like my space.
Okay.
I like my space. I like to be, left alone at times. I'm kind of moody. But there's a part of me that do see myself being married, either to a man or to a woman. I don't know. It's you know what? I leave it to God. What God plans for me is what I'm gonna go with. So I leave it up to God. But I do see myself being married someday.
I appreciate that. I want to ask you your next ex.
Absolutely not. No.
You don't want to do marriage? Okay.
No.
Okay. No. Is it? I want to do the marriage thing, but if I can have the children and a good partner with my partner, I will love to have that too. Because I know when you get married, that is a job, that is a work, and I know if I get married, the female that I talked to, she said, if you have children, you ain't gonna be able to move the way you move in now, going live. You have to make sure your child is good. And number one, make sure if you're dating, you got to make sure your wife is or girlfriend is good. If you want that relationship to flourish, because I'm so used to going live when I go live. But what if I gotta get my wife's son? I don't want her to be like 2 times. He right now, he on his phone. So you got if you wanted to thrive and be successful, I would have to have like a schedule and doing around, for that well. But go ahead, your next act.
I was just gonna say also, like, you know, you definitely want to make sure that you're financially,
Yeah, that's
stable.
true.
And the reason I say that is because, like, even if you're not able to do it at that time, maybe you could, like, outsource it, meaning like you can hire somebody to, like, potentially
Facts.
watch your
Yep.
children or clean your house or whatever it is that's taken away from your time to do what you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Outsource it to someone else and devote more time to what it is that you.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. I agree. And that's why I'm looking to getting back into the workforce because I want to hire like an assistant because you said I need an assistant to answer emails. That Mr. Wiley, blah blah blah, like a schedule, and that's really taking my show to the next level to get someone to help me because the show is growing. It was a time that I ain't never get no emails. Now you have about 5 or 10, 15, 20 emails, 10 or 12 texts. And so I have to keep up with the pace. And now sometimes it's becoming overwhelming because Jezo, you know this. We are a booker, we are a producer,
Yep.
cameraman, we come up with the title, gotta do our thumbnail, gotta interview questions. We're doing a job of that Sherry Shepherd have a staff of 20 people to do. And we're one person and we're able to accumulate a lot of impact. That says a lot of talent because we're doing all of these jobs. Because Wendy Williams did she have a staff of more than 20 people?
She had a staff of 100 and something, over 100 people.
So, and we're doing the job of one. And can you imagine if I had 100 people working behind the Wiley Show?
Yeah. She had people that worked. Wendy had people that worked for her, and then she had interns as well.
So, and if I had intern, all that, they would definitely answer your next. Your next ex, sir. God bless you, sir. The meet and greet have been postponed. It will be this Saturday. Very professional. It's kind of hard. You're doing a job, and I don't think we as content creators realize we're competing with people. They have a staff of 100 people, and we still able to come and deliver content. That's why a lot of us get burnout because we are taking on so many responsibilities between that and also our personal life.
And that's the reason why a lot of journalists and people who like host, like those big TV shows like Sherry Shepherd don't care for content creators and bloggers because we're able to do something that they're able to do with less people, and sometimes it's just us, one person that's able to do what they're doing with 100 people, and in some cases we do it better than them.
We do it better than them. I remember when Tory Lane's trial happened. Remember that?
Yeah.
And all those YouTube bloggers went to that trial. They were getting more coverage, more clout than the journalists. They felt some type of way.
Like,
you know what I'm saying? And one of the journalists, they call her Megan the Reporter. This is a white woman. Now she's gonna go live and do YouTube video. It ain't gonna go nowhere because she ain't got the it factor. That woman dry, saggy face. The way how she talks, she put me to sleep. That look like Joe Biden mama. And there's no offense to President Biden mama. But she's dry as rocks. That ain't gonna go nowhere. She gonna get about 3 people in that chat. It take a special skill to accumulate a lot of audience. I don't care if you is a journalist, you still gotta be able to keep people attention. Because it's a difference when you in print than versus you virtual. That's a totally different thing.
And not only that, but like a lot of us, we do things off the cuff. You know what I mean? Those professional, as you quote unquote professional journalists, they have a whole script that they reading off of. You know what I mean? So once you take that script away from them and you showcase their personality, like we just said, they have the driest personality ever.
They're the driest person. Like what? The driest. Yeah. And that's why I love the fact that we have these conversations, and because we have that effect that, oh wow, and of course some of us YouTubers and content, we can learn some stuff from mainstream, some of the formulas.
Of course.
we can learn from them just like they can learn. And of course, they steal our ideas and they put it on.
Mhm.
We know this.
Yeah, absolutely.
I remember they used to steal the Scorpion show saying and say it on the Braxton Family Values. I'm like, what? Have 7
Yes.
feet. They would steal the sayings, and I've seen it happen. And of course, straight people have stole stuff from the LGBTQ, ballroom terminology, and
Yeah.
just took it
Exactly.
all on it. It's no shade. That was all gay slang.
That's why they call y'all influencers.
Yeah, they took it and they just took it and ran with it.
Hey, Wiley, when did you know that you had a gift for for blogging and being a content creator? Like, what was that moment where you just where you said, "I'm good at this. I got this."
When I used to go to the house parties and people wanted to beat me up because I was so controversial with the questions.
Mhm.
And also, it was a situation called Star Milan. I don't know if you remember her. She was a makeup guru person. And it was controversial. She was a gay mother, and she was allegedly said that she slept with her children.
Mm.
And it was so controversial, and it went viral on Blog Talk Radio. That was the first and last time I got a nice check from Blog Talk Radio.
Oh
And
my God! Do people still use Blog Talk Radio?
yeah, they sent me a check, and I was monetized. I was the number one show for like weeks, and they sent me a
Mhm.
nice check because the ratings was like it was to the point that the line was a busy signal.
Oh wow!
Use of hundreds and thousands of we was like crashing the site, and I was like, man, I'm really tired. But I didn't be consistent. I said, oh, I don't want to do this no more. But that's what I knew from that point. And then also when I moved to my apartment, I lived in the Wild Hundreds in Chicago, in the 100 in Roseland.
Uh-huh.
And People Gas, the company was doing the gas. They was doing something. And he said I was gonna go because I overslept, but I came back. He said, you Wiley, and I listened to your radio show, and you said that it's impossible for you to be a 6'2" bottom. I said, excuse me?
Uh-uh.
Radio show on Blog Talk Radio. This was for me.
Uh-uh.
He listened to that episode. He was an older gay guy. He said, I disagree. You can't be 6'2" and be a bottom. He literally repeated what I was shocked.
Uh-uh.
And listen on Blog Talk Radio. Yeah, and that's when I knew. I said, I have something special. I remember me and Jonathan, I wanted to go meet his friends. I just wanted to be around his friends. I wanted to sleep with his friends. I said, let's go to this party. Jonathan didn't want to go. I said, let's go. I'll pay for the cab. Get the cab. Because this is for Uber and Lyft. We get to the hotel. 2 people show up. Yeah, Wiley, we coming for the Wiley Show. We coming for you. Like they were. I'm like, what the world? And I didn't have the clout that the number, when I say clout,
numbers
I have now.
Yeah.
What in the world? And I didn't know it then. Jonathan, to his credit, he have always said, you have a gift. I never knew I had a gift. It took me years now to notice. Now I'm starting like, okay, I am actually funny. Oh, God. Yeah. So I've started it took me years to understand my gift. I used to dilute it. No, I ain't really that funny. Mm-hmm. Like me, I'm so surprised. I was bullied. I got a cooking eye. You like me? I'm surprised. What? Uh-huh. I would talk about and this like really. And so it took me to get that self-confidence and get that swag. Like, okay, I'm a celebrity. Oh, I'm still humble, but I do I have to pat myself on the back because I was bullied and stuff like that. I was bullied as a kid. And so this was all new. I wasn't like other people. They say, I've been that B in my, that wasn't me. I was bullied. And so in special ed. And now out of all that, I was able to accumulate millions of listeners in my little apartment, my little 1-bedroom apartment.
What about you, your next ex? When did you know that you was good at your profession? You're CPA, right?
I don't have my CPA, but I'm an accountant.
Okay.
But honestly, I just did it because that's all I knew. Like other kids were going to like football camp, band camp. I went to finance camp, so.
Oh, nice.
So my dad was like really, really big on that. So So like it's all I knew, and plus he was an accountant. So like, you know, I wanted my pops, he passed away, but he used to have a firm, and like
Really?
I wanted to like take that over before he passed, but he it ended up getting sold to his like his business
Okay.
partner at the time. But anyways, but like I minored in psychology, and that's like where my like real like passion is,
Oh,
you know.
nice.
So like just, you know, help my friends through a lot of issues. They'll have girl problems, or their girls will call me and tell me like their problems or like their perspective and stuff like that. So, but yeah, they don't end up taking my advice, and like that's what frustrates me. So that's the reason I didn't become like a psychologist, because I would just I'd be livid if like they weren't taking my advice. So,
Right.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's so good. And I love that. So, like they said, he asking great questions.
I'm
Just that's this is a man that got 15 plus years of experience.
I'm gonna tell you when I knew that I was good at what I do. Two times. The first time was when I left YouTube to do radio. This is why I don't have that many followers on YouTube. Um, because I made the worst decision to abandon YouTube to go on internet radio.
Mm,
And I did great on internet radio. I mean, I've interviewed some of the biggest people, you know what I mean, in entertainment. Um, and it was good. But then once the show went away and I didn't come back to YouTube, I would see people in the street and they would be like, "Yo, you that guy with that show, with the Just Zoe show, the radio show, ish." And I'd be like, looking at them like, "Yeah." And they'd be like, "Yeah, yo, your show was good. Yo, where was that? What's going on, bro? Bring it back." Da, 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 da. And I'll be shocked, like, because Wally, and I don't know if you could relate, but like when you do a show, you're not thinking like, oh, a million people are gonna be watching my show, and da, da, da. You're not thinking like that. You're thinking about just getting up here, doing your show, having fun, enjoying your people. You don't care if it's one or 1 million that's doing the
absolutely.
show. You
Absolutely.
don't care. So when somebody come up to you and they say, "Yo, I watch your show," that you're shocked because you're like, "Oh wow,
Right.
somebody watch, somebody listening, wow." So after the fact of me doing the show, um, was when I realized like, yo, I got something good going on, and I'm remind you, I'm talking about like 5 years later, like people was like, "Yo, bring back the show. What the show that you had was really good." Like hood dudes from the projects was like, "Yo, I like your show. Your show was good." Da, 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 da. And I'm like, "Wow, okay, little gay old me. These hood dudes is feeling it." So that was the moment. And then another moment that I realized that I was good is when I got invited to Gospel Fest, and I had got backstage access to Gospel Fest.
Wow.
So this is back when I was connected to Wendy, and Wendy's Wendy's assistant was my manager at the time, and um, I forget his name, Farrow. I forget his first name, but his last name is Mr. Farrow. He's the creator of Gospel Fest, and he hit Pam up, and he was like, "Hey, Pam, um, can we get your guy to come through, do some interviews, whatever, so he can be on his radio show?" Pam was like, "Yes." And I remember we had pulled up to the NJ Pack, and one of the producers had met us in at the parking area, and we walked through the corridor, like where all the I hate to use, I don't like using the words fans, but I'm gonna use the word fans, where all the fans was at, and they was like, customer service and all of that. So he was
Mm,
walking through there, and I was in the middle. I was like in the middle. So it was like two people in front of me, two people in the back of me, and two people, one on each side of me. And I was walking in the middle. And I remember Pam was like, don't say nothing. Don't say nothing at all. If anybody asks you a question, you let me answer. And I looked at her and I was like, okay. And we walked through and they were like on their radio, like he's coming, he's walking through, he's coming. And I look and I'm looking at all the other people and they're looking to see who I was because people making this commotion like he's coming. I'm walking in the middle and in that moment, that's when I was like, oh, so this is what it's like to be a celebrity. This is what it's like to be a star. And I was like, wow. And to be honest, I did not like it. I in that moment I knew that I had something, but I also didn't like the feeling of feeling controlled.
Mm-hmm.
Feeling like I can't do for myself. I can't be independent. I have to go through this person for anything that I want, to do anything that I want to do in this moment. I didn't like that feeling. But that's when I knew that, like, okay, I made it.
Yeah, like, wow, brother. You said something before, and I want to say congratulations of that experience.
Thank you.
And you said when you said that you didn't know when you do a show, you don't know if you're reaching millions.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be shocked because like Blog Talk Radio was not that well known. It was lit back in the day.
Right.
My show wasn't like popular. Like, so I'll be shocked when people come up to me, oh Wiley, I know who you is, or Wiley, and all of that. And then I started doing videos, start posting on YouTube, and I never was being consistent like that. But to see people now come up to me, and if I'm at the grocery store, I remember I wanted to give up on YouTube, and poof, I get off the plane. And I asked her, I said, hey, what you on about Wiley? And she worked in the industry. That's all I'm gonna say right then and there. And she was in the industry. And we had a whole conversation. I'm your biggest fan. She showed me evidence how she was a fan of the show, and all of that, and how she was texting her mom when I go live. I said, wow, I can't give up. And I said, that wasn't nothing but God showing me a sign that the path that you're on the right path.
Yep.
Because he's sending you people to say, hey, you on the right path. Just continue to be, because I wanted to give up. I was feeling down, and it was getting to me, oh, your number's low. You ain't got that many subscribers. So that was kind of getting to me. I get off the plane, go outside at the Midway Airport, and I'm having a conversation with a woman. And then she told me, because she works in the industry, why we're getting resistance from celebrities, because they look at YouTubers as being beneath as mainstream.
Yep.
They still have that old school mentality. I must be on radio. YouTube, that ain't for A-list people, where A-list people go. And so that is shifting, because once the pandemic happened, and you see all these people rushing to get on the internet, get clicks and views, and they did not have the personalities to do it. Wasn't no script. They was horrible. Wendy Williams was horrible when she was in her kitchen. Like, that was one of the worst shows ever.
Well, she was losing her mind by that time.
Absolutely, yeah, she was.
Yeah, she was losing her marbles by that time. So
that's when remember the real, they used to talk about YouTube. Yeah, I'm talking about it, and then they was in their kitchen trying to get a click and a view, and tearing them up, because we had something they didn't have, is that personality.
Yes.
Have it. So I've seen them all do it, and so that's why I'm so glad that we were able to have these, we're still here and have these conversations. And I'm glad talking to somebody that's been in the business for almost 2 decades to give them that history.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't abandon, because sometimes people, they get clout and they want to abandon the legends like Nikki did Kim. I don't want to abandon you know what I'm saying? I want to bring the, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to be like, your spot, blah, blah, blah. No, bro. Let's build that up. And when I saw, I was shocked when I saw, I was like, Jezzo. And when I heard that New York voice,
I don't hear it. Everybody always say, yo, you got an accent. You sound so New York. I don't hear it.
Got that New York. You got that New York voice. Like, you got it. Sound like it's radio. You got that swag. And you ask very good questions. You very calm.
Thank you.
To the point. But yeah, man, Jezzo, how can people find out more about you, Jezzo? How can they find out? Are you on Instagram?
Actually, no, I deactivated all my social media because I'm under construction right now.
Okay, okay.
You
So,
know, I'm rebranding myself right now.
so you're
But you could definitely follow me here on YouTube.
yes,
Um, you could search me Jezzo Frost, so you could find me, other places. But yeah, just follow me here on YouTube. I'm gonna be trust me. I'm telling you,
yes.
it's gonna be crazy when I do come back this summer.
I can't wait.
Yeah, I'm launching two shows, not one, but two shows.
You know, I gotta come to New York and come to your show because
Yeah,
your boy Nunu.
yes,
Okay, okay, okay.
yes. That's my guy. Yeah,
Yes, yes, yes.
that's my guy.
Oh, okay, 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 okay.
Yeah, he's cool. He's cool. He's one of the cool ones.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay, okay. We go back. So I can't wait to do because I gotta get to New York because New York is the media capital of the world.
Yes, it is.
It is. So it still is. Your next ex.
Yes, sir.
Wow. But a first appearance on, and you've been following for more than 2 years.
I think it's been over definitely over a year for
That's
sure.
over here. This is your first appearance on the Wiley Show,
Good.
First,
and it was amazing. It was
amazing.
it was amazing. I love it. I love it. It was so great, and I love having these conversations with these people. I'm about to go take my pill and go to sleep. I'm gonna
Sure.
reschedule y'all that Jesse Smollett tonight because I want to be refreshed. I was not planning to do this, but your next ex had my back, and I was triggered to go
Mm.
live. I didn't know what. I just had the title. I said I'm gonna go live, and I didn't know just
just know,
this was
just
not.
know, any chat I'm in, I'm always gonna have your back.
Likewise, me too.
And
Yes,
like,
Me
yes,
too.
I don't care who it is. I don't care. Like if you're
yes,
not around to defend yourself, then just
yeah.
know if
I
I'm around,
love
I'm
it.
ready.
Yep, me. I'm the same way. I definitely got your back. Like
Yes,
I am your pit bull from New York. I will go in on somebody ASAP for you.
And also,
yes,
Wiley, I know you had mentioned earlier, like that people like that one YouTuber made that comment about the wheelchair and stuff
yes.
like that. Like, just know whenever somebody, okay, so like I took debate in like high school and stuff,
Me
and
too.
I learned so much. And like people resort to fallacies whenever a fallacy is basically like when you don't have a leg to stand on, you know.
Hmm.
So, and like one common fallacy that people like do is called ad hominem, and ad hominem literally translates to attack the man. And so like when when someone doesn't have a leg to stand on, that's when they'll result to like personal attacks because they
Right.
don't have anything to say like
Hmm.
on the argument, you know, like that will strengthen their case. So that's when they'll resort to that. So
Definitely,
that's how
John.
you know when like whenever they start making personal attacks and not sticking to what we were actually the topic, then
Hmm.
that's when you know is like you pretty much you won. So like yeah,
Yeah, it doesn't bother me at all because I tried to get disability. They said, no, you ain't disabled. You do YouTube. So all of them say he disabled, we should know that. Shout out to people that is in wheelchairs, is doing living successful lives. That's definitely great because awesome, beautiful people. I just think those reads don't go anywhere. I look at these people, and most of these people that does it, we work together, and it's okay. I'm
mhm.
moving on, and it's
Look,
training.
all your subscribers aren't old women. So
All of it, not all women. Because how old are you in your 30s?
I'm 27.
27
Young,
Yeah,
years old,
young and tender. Okay.
young tender, who speak three
fresh teeth.
languages, and he is, come on, somebody, he know about money. So all of them now, or they used to say he got double old women. I'm
But
like,
I want to piggyback on your next accent what he said,
go
and
ahead.
I want to say this to you is keep those blinders on
Yes.
like a racehorse. Don't look back. Don't. Don't look backwards. Don't look sideways. Just look forward. Just keep on doing you. Forget about what everybody else is doing. Forget about everybody else's numbers, and you just keep on doing you and be your authentic self. Don't worry about what anybody say about you or whatever, because that comes with the game of being a public figure. People's gonna always have something negative to say. People's gonna always have something positive to say. When they stop saying things, that's when you worry.
Yeah.
That's when you worry.
When they stop saying stuff. But you're doing great. You're on the right path. So just keep focused. Don't worry about what everybody else is doing, and don't try to compete with everybody else. Your best competition is yourself.
Absolutely.
That's your best competition. Nobody else.
I receive that. I receive that.
Yeah.
Competition is the thief of joy, you know. So
Yes,
yeah.
yes. Yeah, they say he has a slight remembrance what's that? To look scrappy. Did you ever hear that before? They say you look like little scrappy.
No, I haven't heard that one before. Gotten other things, but a little scrappy.
So again, you guys don't not forget the meeting. The town hall is this Saturday, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, streaming live on the YouTube channel. And again, will you support a child who wants to transition? That is the question. That town hall will start this Saturday at 7 p.m. streaming live on the YouTube channel. If you have anybody that want to join our show, go to Wiley Show Productions at gmail.com. Please let me know and say, hey, I want to join, and I will send you the link if you want to join as well. We will also open up the phone lines. We will only take one call at a time as well, a part of the town hall as well. So that will be the number. But again, Jezzo, thank you, brother.
Welcome anytime.
I might wear
It's a pleasure.
Oh, sorry. I might wear a 3-piece suit like you always.
Oh, you
line up my cufflinks.
Oh, you got your cufflinks. You got to tell me where I can get me a 3-piece suit. I haven't had a three. I only had like the both. I want a 3-piece suit and cufflinks, and I'm a tall guy. So you got to tell me what suit to wear and everything, and teach me how to tie a tie.
You don't want
to. I don't know how to tie a tie. I'm just
YouTube it.
Yeah, I learned how to cut my own hair during the pandemic on YouTube. So.
YouTube, yeah.
Okay.
YouTube is my best friend when it comes down to learning how to do stuff.
Yes. Okay.
I fixed my whole car off of YouTube.
Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
And I learned how to do like OBS and like edit videos, all kinds of stuff on
Me
YouTube.
too.
Yeah.
Wow. Thank you to the support. I'm seeing all these beautiful messages to people all over here that's having their thoughts. Good morning. Thank y'all for coming on. Make sure y'all subscribe. Thank you, Jezzo. Thank you, your next ex, for coming on the show.
Absolutely.
You're welcome. Absolutely. Anytime. Okay. Now I'm going to go watch BMF at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Okay. All right, brothers. Thank y'all. All right. Bye-bye.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Bye-bye. Oh, man. That was so amazing that those brothers, both of them came on our show. I say it with love, man. This was a good show. So we have the Jussie Smollett video scheduled today. We're going to reschedule that Jussie Smollett video tonight. We're going to reschedule that tonight because, again, we did this particular broadcast. So I'm going to go and sleep, take me a good shower and go to sleep. This was fun. Great show. And thank you for the comments. Now, go tell people we had a good episode. All right. This was an awesome show. And we will see y'all back again in the next episode. We have the Jussie Smollett topic we will be diving into and other topics as well. So be on the lookout. If you want me to talk about a subject that I have not discussed, you can always go to Wiley Show Productions at gmail.com. Please send a story if you want us to talk about, or you can text us at 972-674-9462. Text us any of your story. Please don't call. Leave us a text so I remember that you sent it so we can definitely talk about it. We have a P.O. Box 701122, Dallas, Texas 75370. If you want to contribute to the show, we have more outlets so you can donate, but right now we have the Cash App and PayPal, $ Marquise Wiley 28. If you want to contribute to the show, thank you. We also have a GoFundMe page as well for those that want to send something to our travel fund. We have that as well. So thank y'all so very much. This has been a great show. Make sure y'all subscribe. Thank you to Jez Soul. Is this a recorded live? Yes, it is, Tay. It's a recorded live. And we will see y'all in the next episode. Thank y'all. This was fun. Holla!